The New York Giants are a team with a bright future, but are still probably a year or two away from real contention. They do have a promising rookie head coach, and with exciting young pieces like Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal, let's see if we can officially put the New York Giants back on the map. And I will get through this as quickly as I can, but let's just do a quick breakdown of the roster, position by position, just to see what we're working with here to start off the series. So at quarterback, we've got Daniel Jones. Has not quite lived up to being, what was he, a top 5, top 6 draft pick? Top 10 for sure. I don't remember his exact selection, but 2019 draft, top 10 pick. He is, I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, but in my eyes, not the guy. He does have a full year to prove that. He finally has a real head coach for the first time in his career, so, maybe. I'm not ruling him out completely, but I would say as of right now, it's not looking good. And for the purposes of our video, I'm going to say no way on Daniel Jones. 25 years old, 70 overall, he's not going to develop. So we'll let him ride out this year, see how he does with the playbook, but yeah, we're going to get a quarterback of the future sooner than later. Behind him, you've got Tyrod Taylor, Davis Webb, not much to speak of there. At running back, you have the now electric Saquon Barkley, coming off an amazing game against the Tennessee Titans, regaining his rookie form. Guy looked incredible. He's 25, 86 overall. We know he's not going to develop much more. He may be a trade candidate, I'm not going to lie. I don't know as of right now. He is a great player, but we will come back to him. Outside of him, you've got absolutely nobody. Matt Breida, Antonio Williams, Jashawn Corbin is a rookie, 66 overall. Meh. And Gary Brightwell. Nothing going on at running back, really. Fullback, you've got Jeremiah Hall. He is a rookie. At wide receiver, some interesting pieces. Sterling Shepard, not so much. Kenny Golladay, definitely not. Huge waste of money. Outside of that, though, Kadarius Toney is very exciting. Darius Slayton is a solid player. And I'm looking for him here, Wan'Dale Robinson. Second round pick, I believe. Definitely going to want to get him into the lineup right away. Very exciting young player. Outside of that, not really a whole lot, but those two guys, Kadarius Toney and Wan'Dale, those are two pieces I would love to build around. At tight end, no more Evan Ingram, so you've got Jordan Akins here. Tight end is definitely going to be a position of need for us. There is a 21-year-old rookie here, Daniel Bellinger, 85 speed, 89 acceleration, so we might have something there with that. We'll see. At left tackle, you've got Andrew Thomas, third-year player, 76 overall, 23 years old. Should be good for us long term. Left guard is, you've got Joshua Izudu. Forgive me if I mispronounced that. He is a rookie, 22 years old, 67 overall. We might have something there. Not 100% sure, but we'll see. Center is going to be a position of need for us. John Feliciano is definitely not the long-term answer. At right guard, Mark Glowinski, off-season addition, courtesy of the Colts. Played well for them, but he's 30 years old. He is a good bridge player, and that tag is very fitting for him. Can't think of a much better bridge player for our offensive line than Mark Glowinski. And at right tackle, you've got the stud Evan Neal. Rookie, top 10 pick, 77 overall, just 21 years old. This guy is a force. Love to have him. He is going to be a centerpiece for the series. Heading over to the defense, on the defensive line, you've got Dexter Lawrence, solid young player, just 24 years old, 80-something overall. My controller just decided to die, so let me fix that. Okay, excuse the interruption. Anyways, Dexter Lawrence is 80 overall, still 24, can develop a little bit, we'll see. At the other side, we have Leonard Williams, 28 years old, 83. Solid piece for now, I suppose. Defensive tackle, not really a whole lot. DJ Davidson is a rookie. Maybe we have something there, but I don't know. Not really loving any of his numbers. 83 strength isn't great. He doesn't really have great speed or acceleration. So defensive tackle is going to be a need for us. Outside linebacker, you've got Azeez Ojulari, 22 years old, second-year player. Forgive me, I don't follow the Giants too closely, but I know I've heard his name before. Seems like a solid, young, ascending player. Good for us, for sure. At middle linebacker, Yeah, bridge player Blake Martinez. I mean, outside of that, not really a whole lot to be excited for, at least not for the purposes of our video. And at the other outside linebacker spot, you've got Kayvon Thibodeaux. If you're a King of the Hill fan and you understand the reference, let me know in the comments. Probably not. I'll probably sound crazy, but if you do, that would be cool. But yeah, Kayvon Thibodeaux is an amazing player. Great selection by the Giants. They knocked this draft out of the park, which is part of why, aside from the Brian Dable signing, why people think their future is so bright. But yeah, Kayvon is a monster. He's going to do great things for us. At cornerback, you've got Adoree Jackson, I believe was a trade from the Titans, if I remember correctly. Aside of him, Darnay Holmes is not going to be anything long term. Aaron Robinson, Cordell Flatt. Yeah, there's really nothing going on here. So corner is going to be a position of need. Adoree is, he's decent, but, you want him as your number one? No thanks. Safety, Xavier McKinney is a good player. 24 years old, 81 overall. Glad to have him here. And in the strong safety position, Julian Love. 24 years old, 76 overall. Definitely could do a lot worse than that. And sure, why not? Let's look at the kicker and punter. Graham Gano and Jamie Gillian. And that is your roster. The highest overall player coming in at an 86 overall, which is Saquon. If we were to get rid of him, our best player by overall would be Leonard Williams. That is crazy to think about. On paper, this team does not have a lot of talent. With the way the roster currently stands, we are in contention, I would say, for the number one overall pick. That would be great, depending on how the quarterback class plays out. But I do want to put this team in a position to succeed from the beginning. Let's look and see if there are any possible moves we can make to, make year one as successful as it possibly can be. No matter what, this is not a playoff team, but can we get, 6, 7, 8 wins? It's possible. Let's see what we can do. And in looking at the free agents here, I am starting in the preseason. So I know that some of these guys have signed, some may have retired. I'm not going to take that into too much consideration. However, I am going to be avoiding guys like Odell, who I know there is no chance in hell Odell would want to come play. With this Giants team as it currently stands, this roster is bad. That being said, though, Linval Joseph, he's got the mentor tag. I know we don't really have anyone that needs mentoring, but, he is, I feel, a very New York Giants signing. Bit of an aging veteran, not a flashy guy, just someone to come in and be solid. I don't want to purposely tank year one. I feel it would do a disservice to the players on the roster that do want to win. And, with a good rookie head coach, sometimes they can elevate the talent of the team a little bit, so that is something to take into consideration as well. Jared Cook is someone who, at least we can say we tried with Daniel Jones. As of right now, he doesn't really have anyone there. Cook is like 50 years old at this point, so I think right now it's just a matter of who's going to pay him, which is going to be us. And aside from that, I think we're probably okay. Landon Collins, that would be fun to bring him back, but I'm going to say no. Yeah, so we'll bring in a couple guys. Nothing too crazy, but that keeps it as realistic as possible. Also, before we get too far into the video, I do want to come out and say this is not a realistic rebuild. I will keep things as realistic as possible, but that is no guarantee that any of this will be realistic before any of you start coming for me in the comments. So just want to put that out there. One thing that I do like to do to get a little bit ahead of the curve, for lack of a better phrase, is to go into my team's salaries each season and just see whose contracts will be up, who is going to be a part of our long-term plans, who might actually want to come back, and who's a trade candidate. So Saquon, it is the last year of his deal. He'll be heading into his age 26 season. We know he's going to want decent money, and a running back is a position that can be had through the draft, of course, or through possibly a lesser free agent. So we're going to try and maximize the value for Saquon because I can't see myself paying him. I also don't know if he'll want to come back. So many players have that franchise quarterback tag where they really won't want you. if you don't have that franchise quarterback in place, which as of right now, we do not. So Sterling Shepard is another player I would like to add to the trade block. 29 years old already. That's crazy to think about. He's been in the league for a while, just has not played a whole ton due to injury. He's been solid while he's been out there. We're not going to add to the trade block the guys that we just brought in through free agency. That would be shady of us, to say the least. Blake Martinez, we really have no one behind him, so I'm going to let him play it out. Darius Slayton, we'll add him to the trade block. And we may as well just go out there, see if there are any running backs we can bring in. I like who we have at receiver. I really had no desire to play Sterling Shepard or Darius Slayton all that much anyway, so losing them will really not feel like a huge loss. Let's see, who else do we have here? Julian Love, I think I would like to bring him in long term, as long as he's reasonable with his contract expectations, which usually strong safeties are, so I think that's okay as far as the trade block is concerned. Now, looking at the veteran running backs who are available, I would say the best of the bunch that's going to fit our scheme is going to be Devonta Freeman. If Devonta Freeman is your starting running back in 2022, you're in trouble. However, that may be the case with us, with Saquon potentially on the move. But that at least gives us some insurance. Make sure that at least we don't have Matt Breida back there every single week. Now, we did get an improved rookie dialogue box in week 2 of the preseason. I simmed forward 1 week, so let's see what this is. Usually it's a certain stat can go up around 3 points. So Andrew Thomas, first round pick. Yeah, we want to improve his pass blocking. So let's see, pass block power or finesse. I believe finesse would fit our scheme better. And Mark Glowinski is going to make that happen for us. So left tackle Andrew Thomas has received +3 pass block finesse. So very good for us. We'll take that in a heartbeat. Okay, so preseason week 3, we do have some trade offers for Saquon. Let's see what teams are potentially willing to offer us for our possibly soon-to-be former franchise player. The Texans, garbage. These are joke offers. Are you kidding me? I mean, these are terrible. Jason Verrett. I mean, sure, they're throwing in a second, so I guess for an injury-prone running back. Javonte Williams, I traded for him in my Bears franchise. That just feels like cheating to me. There's no way in hell the Broncos would ever trade Javonte for Saquon and throw in more on top of that. So I guess with all of that taken into consideration, Jason Verrett in a second. I mean, we are rebuilding. As of right now, I feel a second-round pick would be generous for Saquon, and Jason Verrett is just another one of those older players. They just feel like a giant. So we're going to take the pick here, and I do feel, man, can you imagine Saquon on the Niners in a Kyle Shanahan offense? I mean, this is good for him. We're happy for Saquon. He gets to go play for a good team. Put him in the backfield with Trey Lance and see what kind of magic happens. Hopefully. It is Trey Lance, after all, but hopefully. And yeah, so we do have to say goodbye to Saquon. It's bittersweet, but I feel the return more than justified it. Okay, and after the Saquon trade, we are hopefully about to do some more trimming as far as the old regime is concerned. New regime is in, that would be me, so Saquon and Sterling Shepard, they represent a bit of a lost era for New York Giants football. Unfortunately, Sterling is not generating the offers I would like to see. Neither of these are interesting to me at all. I mean, Trey Sermon, high hopes for him as a rookie, but the guy was just cut. I believe he's on someone's practice squad right now. So we're going to cut our bench players. We'll put the week 1 roster together, and let's see how we're looking heading into the season. Okay, so here is your week 1 starting roster. We are coming in at 75 overall. The offense is a 73. Defense is a 79. I might look at the scheme here. Actually, yeah, let me go ahead and do that really quick, just to make sure the scheme is exactly what we want it to be. Okay, so vertical zone run. Yeah, I'm going to say that's probably what we want to do. I know we're technically built a little bit better for a spread right now. I really don't like a 3-4, but we'll run it just for this season. Yeah, we'll leave the scheme as is. So anyways, going back to the week 1 roster, Daniel Jones is your quarterback. His weapons are not the best. Devontae Freeman, I know it is unfortunate, but I do feel the Saquon move was a necessity. I feel it will help us long term in terms of the rebuild, so it had to be done. Now, Kadarius Toney is our wide receiver 1. Sterling Shepard, for the time being, is wide receiver 2. I will skip forward a couple weeks just to see if the offers improve. Wandale, we have promoted him. He is up to wide receiver 3. Jared Cook's your tight end. On the offensive line, Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal. 2 solid tackles, both very young. Mark Glowinski. And yeah, it's not a great offensive line. Anyways, looking at the defense here, we are a 3-4, so Kayvon Thibodeau, should hopefully cause some damage from the edge, because outside of that, you really don't have a whole lot else to be excited for here. Xavier McKinney's decent, Julian Love is nice, I guess, but yeah, it's not great. Thankfully, we did get Linval Joseph. That should shore up the middle of the defense a little bit. But yeah, I'm not loving what we have here, unfortunately. But anyways, heading into the year, my official prediction is going to be 4-13. I'm not going to read a whole lot of these messages just because, frankly, I don't care. I'm more interested in getting into the rebuild portion of this, being the first free agency, the first draft. There are a few things that I do have to select or I do need to look at. We did lose to the Titans week 1. We put up 24 points, so not bad. I do want to see, though, if we can get anything at all for Sterling Shepard while we still can. Let's see if the offers have improved even just a little bit. Give me something. Ed Oliver? Seriously? All right. Yeah, Ed Oliver it is. Easy. And again, probably not the most realistic. The Bills, I don't know that they would necessarily want to do this, but if they're offering it, we're just going to take, what we're given. So yeah, Ed Oliver, welcome to New York. Also, now that we have Ed Oliver, I am going to go ahead and change his position, just because in our current scheme, he would be sitting behind Linval Joseph. We don't want that. We want him to get in there. We want him to get starting time. So Ed Oliver is going to be our new starter there. Leonard Williams, let's go ahead. Let's throw him up on the trade block because he is now expendable to us. And I would imagine we should be able to get something decent for him. Let's hope so. Okay, moving on to week 3, really just for the purpose of seeing the trade offers. As you can see, we lost week 2. We put up 35 points, which for this team, that is surprising. I don't know how we're doing that. We'll see at the end of the season who the statistical leaders are, but that is impressive. Now, we do have some offers here for Leonard Williams. Let's see what we can possibly get. Yeah, and I know the Ed Oliver move probably wasn't the most realistic, but there's no way the Broncos are offering us Jerry Jeudy here. Now, A.J. Dillon, I could see that. A.J. Dillon, he was a 2020 draft pick, so he should still have a couple years left on his contract. Yeah, why not? We'll get Daniel Jones, a real running back, or at least someone to pair with Freeman, someone who's younger, has a little bit of power. I should say a lot of power. Guy's a tank. But yeah, A.J. Dillon, let's see. Should he be our starting running back? Let's check on that. Okay, yeah, it's not even close. A.J. Dillon is going to be our starter. That's good for us. A third-year player, 80 overall already. We might have something here. It's what I meant earlier. He's even going to be our third down running back. And if you watch the Packers game last weekend, the guy can catch passes a lot better than this 57 overall rating would imply. Which I think the third down running back thing in the depth chart, I'm pretty sure what that signifies. A.J. Dillon's going to be a 3-down back for us. That's what we're going to do. We're happy with that. So I don't know that we have anyone else on the trade block. We'll move forward another week or two just to see. Aside from that, we'll get to the midseason point, see who we want to possibly negotiate with. Okay, so here at the midseason point, we are 2-5, so we did pick up a couple wins. We'll do a more in-depth look at that later on. Once we get to the playoffs that we know we will not be making this year, we'll look at the game, see how they went, but I mean, it looks like, around what we expected. With that being said, let's look and see who's ready to negotiate. Thankfully, we've shipped most of them off. I'm hopeful we should have quite a bit of money heading into the offseason. It should tell us. Yeah, as of right now, we're poised to have around $106 million. Who do we have up? Blake Martinez is a no. He doesn't like us. We don't like him. That's fine. Darius Slayton's a no. Julian Love is not a huge fan. He does not really want a whole lot of anything, though. So if we throw him a player-friendly deal, I mean, his cap hit's going to get up to like $3.5 million. Let's see if he'll take it. Player-friendly, okay. Yeah, if you want to be that way, fine. Enjoy free agency, not getting any offers, because that's what's going to happen to you. And outside of this, Daniel Jones. Yeah, there's really nobody. I mean, maybe we get to the end of the season. Maybe not Jared Jones. What the heck am I thinking? Daniel Jones has tore it up for us, but as of right now, it's not looking like we're going to bring a single one of these guys back. And here we are at the playoffs. We did go 6-11, so I believe that defied my expectations just a little bit. Probably not going to be good enough for the number 1 overall pick, unfortunately, which is what I was hoping for. But that's what happens. Ooh, yeah, so we are going to have, a top 10 pick? Close to, yikes, we're going to be sitting around 11. Gross. Okay, the Patriots, they go 3-14. So do the Steelers. Those are your 2 worst teams in the league, apparently. Okay, interesting. But anyways, when you look at our regular season stats, we were competitive. 10-point loss to the Titans. We put up 35 against the Panthers. We did beat the Cowboys. That's good. Beat the Bears. Only lost by 3 to the Packers, by 6 to the Ravens. So we were hanging in there. A touchdown to the Jags. The Seahawks, of all teams, do beat us by 2 scores. We beat the Texans. We beat the Lions. The Cowboys destroyed us in the rematch. Commanders beat us by 2 scores. We beat the Eagles. Commanders beat us again by 2 scores. We beat the Vikings. We lose a close one to the Colts. And we lose by 12 to the Eagles. So for a team that I would say on paper is probably the least talented in the NFL, at least as far as the sim is concerned, after trading away Saquon, not bad. And here are your year-end stats. So we finished with the number 19 offense in the NFL. So there's the 32nd defense, and that would be why this team struggled as much as they did. Daniel Jones, to his credit, almost 5,000 passing yards, 34 touchdowns. Don't love the 24 picks, but probably the best year he's seen so far. Passer rating of 93. So the good news is when we replace him, it looks like they'll be coming into a playbook that's set up for success. That's good. Rushing the ball, A.J. Dillon almost manages 4 yards a carry. It appears that this offense is built much more for passing than rushing. Darius Slayton leads the team in yardage and puts up 17 touchdowns. The CPU must have put Kenny Golladay back in the starting lineup. I hate that. That is upsetting, I'm not going to lie, because here's Wan'Dale Robinson with 5 catches. I guarantee he's buried on the depth chart. That is actually frustrating. I made it a point to put him as our 3rd wide receiver. There's no way he should have gotten 5 catches this year, but I digress. Kadarius Toney puts up nearly 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. Jared Cook puts up 804. A.J. Dillon's next up. Blocking. How do we do as far as sacks allowed? Andrew Thomas let up 19. I do feel that is a bit of a high number. How does that compare to the rest of the league? Is 19 good? I'm going to assume not. Yeah, no, that's about tops in the league. So Andrew Thomas, not ideal. He is still young, though, so we're going to, I guess, let it slide. Also, some of those could have been on Daniel Jones. The awareness, we know, is probably not the greatest. Blake Martinez, the soon-to-be free agent, did lead the team in tackles with 116. Let's see who got any sacks. It's going to be pathetic. Ed Oliver got 8. Okay. So, great return for Sterling Shepard. Kayvon gets 4.5. So, as a rookie, I guess, you can't complain too much. Azeez Ojulari also gets 4.5. Nothing really outside of that. Interceptions, Julian Love led the team with 3. Xavier McKinney also picked up 3. And I believe trade acquisition, this was Jason Verrett has 2, as does Jared or Gerard, however you pronounce that, Wilson. Looking at the yearly awards, I'm not going to spend much time here at all. There's really just one or two that I'm interested in. Brady wins MVP again. Let's look at the Rookie of the Year. I know we're not going to have anyone else. Jameson Williams wins it. Wandale comes in at 9. Would have been a lot higher if the CPU didn't mess with me. Jashawn Corbin also receiving votes. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Kayvon, unfortunately comes in at 2nd. Would have loved to have had that dev trait increase, but alas, it was not to be. And here we are at the end of the season. Super Bowl 57. It looks like Mahomes got his revenge against Brady 2 years later, a 28-7 victory in the Super Bowl, blowing him out the same way he was blown out 2 years prior, and Juju is your Super Bowl MVP. Interesting. Here are the rest of your year-end awards. I'll let you guys look through those. Not going to read every single one of them off, but that will do it for the 2022 NFL season. Congrats to the Chiefs for another Super Bowl win, I suppose. Also, some players have retired. Let's just look at the NFC side of things, see if there's anything that's going to be overly relevant to us. Rodgers does retire. Congrats to the rest of the NFC North. Linval Joseph retires. Let's see, not really a whole lot else that's going to matter a whole lot to us, but yeah, those are your retirements. And now, for the last time, we have 18 players ready to negotiate. Let's just make absolutely sure that none of them are coming back. I don't believe that any of them are, but let's just make sure. Jason Verrett's a big no. Yash Nijman, I have never heard of you, that's a no. Slayton, Martinez, Julian Love. Let's see if you change your tune just a little bit. Let's see. So we went player friendly. If we go very player friendly, what does that put us at? It would be a 4-year deal. He'd be locked in through his age 29 season. I mean, it really wouldn't affect us all that much, and we'd get him locked in. He's got star dev. Okay. Perfect. So, despite all the mean things I said about him a few minutes ago, Julian Love is back. And we are happy with that. So, I'm glad that I looked. Danny Dimes, we wish you the best. And outside of that, there's really going to be nobody here. Jared Cook, I am surprised, didn't retire. I'm starting to wonder if he ever will at this point. But yeah, those are our free agents. So let's get into the actual free agency period, see who we can hopefully bring into the Giants. Okay, so here are your free agents, and it's a cold world. Brady wins MVP, gets his team to the Super Bowl, and they say no thanks. Kareem Hunt is available. This is a weak free agency period, I'm not going to lie. And wow, Odell does like us. That is interesting. Not interesting in the sense that I'm going to sign him, but interesting in the sense of why? Super Bowl MVP Juju Smith-Schuster is out here. This is a bleak free agency to say the least. Let's sort by interest just because right now we're not going to be overpaying for anybody. I can tell you that right now. Dawson Knox does like us. 26 years old, 85 overall. We do have a need there. What does he want? A 4-year deal? Okay. Sure, why not? Because we know that we're probably going to be bringing in a rookie quarterback, so we would like for him to have some weapons. So yeah, Dawson Knox is someone we'll extend an offer to. Juju, I just am not super enticed by. Mike Hughes does have superstar dev. That's intriguing. He does like us. What kind of contract does he want? Just a 3-year deal? Sure. Does that put us at the top of his list, though? Because I know there's another team out there for him. Let's go to our targeted. Where do we stand? Oh, yeah. Mike Hughes, I think he should be joining us. So, hopefully 2 solid additions. Let's see if we can get anyone else here in this first wave of free agency. Greg Gaines. I don't know how I've never heard of Greg Gaines. He's been in the league for several years now. Darrell Henderson is a no for me. Ronald Jones is a no. Odell. You know what? What does Odell want? Let's just see. He wants a 4... No. Odell, you're 30, bro. Why do you want a 4-year deal? I'm good on that. If he was younger, If he wanted like a 2, even a 3-year deal, sure, why not? But no, we're not paying Odell for 4 years. That's ridiculous. Who else we got here? Greedy Williams, Dwayne Smoot. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know if they patched this or not, but usually free agency is a bit more spicy than this. This is just not doing anything for me right now. I'm not going to lie. James Bradbury, we could bring him back, but he's ancient by cornerback standards at this point. Yeah, man, this is rough. I'm not really enjoying this. I mean, that's okay. We'll save some money. We'll focus on the draft and on next offseason when we should still have a ton to spend. Let's go ahead and evaluate our offers. We should have hopefully brought in both of our 2 guys. Let's see. Yes, Dawson Knox and Mike Hughes are both now New York Giants. And Dawson Knox, he gets reunited with his former head coach. Or I should say his former offensive coordinator, now his head coach, Brian Daboll. So 2 solid signings. I was hoping for a bit more of a splashy offseason, but we'll take this so far. And I am kind of glad that I did that, because I did just go look at the team's salaries. We've got 4 guys who are going to be coming due here, 3 of which I think I would be interested in re-signing. Definitely 2, Ed Oliver, Xavier McKinney. Adoree Jackson, probably not. In fact, my favorite move of the video so far, we are going to go ahead and put you on a little something that I like to call the trade block. If it would load for me, EA. Okay, so I did get him on the trade block. The EA servers went down how they like to, so that is what caused that delay. Dexter Lawrence is another player. I mean, he's 80 overall. If we could get anything for him, I mean, it could even wait until after the draft if we're able to find a solid replacement for him. We're still just kind of working on, I don't know, I don't want to say trimming the fat, because it's not like there's a lot of fat on the roster, but just some guys who, do we really want to pay them long term? I'm going to say no. Andrew Thomas, I think, is probably someone who, despite struggling for us in 2022, is still someone I would pay. But yeah, those 2 guys, we'll throw them on the block. Also going on the block is yours truly, Kenny Golladay. Now, when I say trimming the fat, this is what I mean. Kenny Golladay is someone I want no part of. I don't want him starting for me. I don't want the CPU starting him for me. Not going to happen. Here's your roster as of right now. So let's just quickly assess our needs. Maybe we hop back into free agency. The interior of the line is a joke right now, so maybe we hop back in there, see if there are any centers or any guards who would at least be better than the 68 overalls we have in there right now. I mean, even Mark Glowinski's playing out of position. Props to him for that. We could use a new DT. We definitely need some middle linebackers, so yeah, really interior positions. Let's check in on those. Middle linebackers, interior line. Let's see if there's anyone even decent that we can bring in here, because I don't want to go 6-11 again, and God forbid I don't want to go worse than that. Okay, so at the left guard spot, nothing. You've got the former Giant Eric Flowers. David Edwards is 77. He has no interest in us. The team's already in on him. He is just 26 years old. What kind of money is he going to want? If we throw him even just slightly better than a neutral offer, a 2-year deal, just to really be a Band-Aid for us, would that entice him? It would. Okay. So we'll stay in on him just to shore up the line a little bit. Eric McCoy is actually decent, 26 years old, 81 overall. If we go player friendly, I mean, yeah, his cap hit gets near $10 million. I don't love that, but it is just a 3-year deal. Would give us some flexibility in the draft and not have to worry about it right away. And we're top of his list. And now Mark Glowinski should be able to move back to his spot, and that's good because there really are not any good right guards out there. Now let's look at the linebacker position. Okay, a bunch of old guys here. Is there anyone who... Ugh, yikes. Anthony Hitchens, no thank you. Okay, these are rough. I mean, not even any guys. Andrew Van Ginkel. How do you have 6 teams interested in you? That's what I would like to know. What do you want? What kind of money are you looking for, Mr. Van Ginkel? Yeah, 7 million a year. I don't think so. Okay, so linebacker is going to be something we still have to look at in the draft. Let's evaluate our offers here. See if we were able to shore up the line just a little bit. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, so we got the line back in okay shape. That's a win, I would say. And suddenly, I would say things are looking better for us. Definitely not an elite offensive line by any means. Maybe not even a good one, but it's at least serviceable. It's not a joke. If we bring in a rookie quarterback this draft, which I'm hoping we can, if not, we'll be with Terod, then they at least have a fighting chance. They've got some weapons here. Dawson Knox, Tony, Wan'Dale Robinson, once we get him. I don't know how he's showing as the wide receiver 3. There's no way. A.J. Dillon's a good running back. And then defensively, yeah, we're definitely going to need to worry about DT and linebackers for sure. And speaking of DT, we could definitely use some help there. David Onyemata's got teams interested in him, but if he's looking for a 1-year deal, which he is, I'm willing to actually overpay him a little bit. Because it's a 1-year deal, what else are we going to do with that cap space? I mean, why not? He's not going to be the answer long term, but he at least would shore things up for a short period of time. And we are top of his list. Does he come in? I'm hoping he does. Yes, okay. So we got Onyemata as well. Just on a 1-year deal. Pricey, sure, but it's not going to impact us next year when I'm hoping the pool of talent is better. Hopefully we've got a franchise quarterback in place. Hopefully things are looking a lot rosier here in New York. Also, we do have some decisions to make. 5th-year options. Who is up? This would be what, the 2019 draft class? Is that right? Can't remember. 2018, 2019, one of the two. Andrew Thomas. Yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll pick up his 5th-year option. Yes. Okay, good. So that will hold off negotiations for 1 year. That helps. And we are finally closing in on the draft. We do have a free agency recap here, so let's take a look and see who went where. Honestly, let's look at ourselves first just to do a quick little analysis. My signings. I'm happy with how free agency went. We didn't go out there and overpay mediocre players like Kenny Galladay, for example. We did bring in Dawson Knox. That was a good signing for us. Eric McCoy, we got ourselves a center for the next 3 years. Mike Hughes is a good cornerback for us. He's a superstar. That should help us. David Onyemata on a 1-year deal. And we got a left guard, Band-Aid for a couple years. Just 26 years old. Overall, it wasn't splashy by any means, but I think this free agency was a win for us. It's not going to immediately elevate us to contender status, but I don't know that there's a free agency period this year that could have done that for us. Now let's look around the league. Brady is a Colt. Interesting. I am a Colts fan. When he first hit free agency after leaving New England, I was very open about the fact that I did want Brady. I believe we went the Phillip Rivers route instead. I think that was the same year. Who knows what could have happened? Brady and Indy. That would have been interesting. Kareem Hunt is a Lion. Elkton Jenkins goes to the Bears. Funny, I actually signed him as a Bear when I did that rebuild. Deontay Johnson is a Viking. That's interesting. Pair him up with Justin Jefferson. That should be a lethal duo. Odell is an Eagle, so we'll get to see him twice a year. Javon Hargrave also going to the Bears. They had a busy free agency. Jamel Dean is a Raven. C.J. Gardner-Johnson also going to the Colts. Bit of some on-field beef with Brady as a Saint, so now they get to team up. Yannick leaves the Colts and goes to the Bears. Marcus Davenport's a Texan. J.C. Treader is a Texan as well. Juju's a Jet. Alexander Johnson is a Bronco. Jarvis Landry's headed to Green Bay. Sterling Shepard, our former guy. They must not have kept him around. In Buffalo, I believe, is where we sent him. He is an Eagle, so we'll see him twice a year. Tony Pollard's a Seahawk. Robert Tonyan is a Colt, joining Brady. Jabril Peppers is a 49er. James Bradbury is a Raven. And that is about it for players I would deem relevant. Now, we do have some trade offers heading into the draft. Let's take a quick look here and see. Now, I'm not committed to taking any of these right away. We can definitely wait on them. See who we get in the draft, see who might be a little bit more expendable. As of right now, not loving the offers I'm getting for Adoree Jackson. Nakobe Dean would be intriguing. That is actually... Do I like that offer? I mean... Do I want Nakobe Dean? How are we at middle linebacker? I know we're bad, but would Nakobe Dean step in and be an immediate upgrade for us? Okay, yeah, I mean, we have no one there right now. Best we've got is Tay Crowder, 71 overall. Next up, still starting because of the scheme, is Micah McFadden. Let's take a further look here at Nakobe Dean. He's a scheme fit for us, 73 overall, still just 22 years old. Incredible athlete. Yeah, I mean, interdivision trade, maybe not super realistic, but again, I did say, if you're looking for realism in this video, you might not have come to exactly the right place, and we are going to take that. Nakobe Dean is going to be a New York Giant, and Adoree Jackson is going to be an Eagle. And these two NFC East players are going to be doing a little swap here. How's that for a pre-draft blockbuster? Not necessarily a blockbuster, but still exciting. Gets us a linebacker that we can build around. I like that. Okay, next up on the potential chopping block is Dexter Lawrence. I'm not super incentivized to trade him because of his age and because we really have no one outside of him. But let's see if we get anything that's even remotely worth it. No, we do not. Boye Mafe is not quite going to do it for me. And finally, we've got Kenny Golladay, who is going to be very easy for me to want to trade, to say the least. Let's see what we can get for him. See, this is... I mean, I know I'm probably being a bit of a hypocrite here, but in what world are the Bears trading Darnell Mooney straight up for Kenny Golladay? I'm not doing that. I mean, my other moves, sure, they might not have been super realistic, but at least you can make a case. That one, there's no way. There's no way in any logical world where the Chicago Bears do that. So, unfortunately, as of right now, Kenny Golladay is staying through the draft. Okay, and at long last, we are here. The 2023 NFL Draft. Let's get into it. I have not really looked at my draft board at all. The Patriots are picking first. I don't think they go quarterback. I don't think the Steelers go quarterback. How are the quarterbacks? Let's take a look at that and see. We should have focused on them in scouting. I believe I did do that early on in the 2022 season. Let's see what we're looking at here. Okay, so Chris Bloom is a top 5 projection, first-round talent. Outside of that, you really don't have a whole lot. Mitch Core does have round 2 to 3 talent, and really nothing else. So this is a weak quarterback class. Is Mitch Core someone who would even be worth taking if we waited on him a little bit? Let's see. He's not an athlete. However, that didn't help Daniel Jones. How are his numbers? A awareness, A short, B medium. Let's see. Where are the Fs? Where's his deep at? I'm not seeing that. Oh, his deep is a C. I mean, how's the other guy? Is the top 5 projected guy really worth a top 5 pick? Let's see here. Chris Bloom. I like the name. Rolls off the tongue nicely. He's 23, so that's a little old for my liking. A deep, B medium, A short, A under pressure, so he's good. He's not fast. I do like a little bit of wheels on my quarterback. Yeah, I think what we do, I don't think we trade up for Chris Bloom. This other guy here, what's his name? Where is he? Mitch Core. He's day 3 projected. So what? We could take him with our 3rd round pick. At least let him compete with Tyrod. And, if he doesn't work out, then we go all in next year. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's wait and see who falls to us. What do we pick? 11th? Something like that? Let's see here. Yeah, we pick 11th. Let's go ahead. Let's see who he goes to, just for curiosity's sake. My guess would be the Seahawks. Although the Patriots could be a sleeper team. What's going to happen here? No, they go with an outside linebacker, Sean Stevens out of Auburn. The Steelers, they take a left tackle. Good. I would have been really annoyed if they go in and replace Kenny Pickett right away. The Seahawks, is this the destination? I'm going to assume so. No. Okay. The Falcons, I feel probably, it's got to be is it? No. So he keeps falling. Okay. The Raiders? Would the Raiders do it? No. Is he going to fall to us? I mean, right now, would we trade up? Would we do that? Because I think I don't think he makes it past the Texans. Definitely not the Lions. Let's give him another look here. Just for argument's sake, let's give him a look. Okay, so again, 23 years old, 6'6", 228, strong arm quarterback. Stats are looking nice. He is the strongest quarterback, so, maybe he's got a cannon. That would be nice. I mean, A deep is exciting. I kind of like that. Where's his throw power, though? I don't know that I saw his throw power. Where is that? Is that going to tell us anywhere on here? I mean, forgive me if I'm missing it, but I truly do not see throw power listed. Unless we go back. Would it be listed in one of those 4 on the side? No, it's not. We don't know his throw power. If we gave Arizona a 1st and a 3rd, I'd be willing to do that if they take it. And what we can do is we can go in. If I exit the draft... Oh, no, I don't want to quit franchise mode. Can I spend my staff points and get a little bit of a discount? Because I would do a 1st and a 3rd. I don't think anyone would be upset with that. I can't see the media throwing a fit over trading a 1st and a 3rd to move up, 4 spots, 5 spots to get your guy. Okay, let's go down our trade tree here. And as much as I would love to, save some of these points, if we can get our guy, if he was top 5 projected, he's slipping a little bit just because of, who's picking in the top 5. Then I say, why not? And I do mean that. Guaranteed trade package, okay. We should be able to make it all the way down the tree here. In which case, I'm thinking, hoping and praying that 1st round pick and the 3rd round pick will be enough to get us our guy. So I'll purchase these points and let's see. Okay, and that is going to be good enough. So we are now on the clock. Let's go get our guy. The only quarterback who really was worth much of anything in this draft class. Projected high. Let's take him. 23 years old. The only thing that I don't love. But you got to get your guy. You got to get your quarterback. We didn't bring in Dawson Knox to have Tyrod Taylor throw him the ball. Wouldn't be fair. Not fair to the season ticket holders and the fans who have waited so long for this team to do something. Oh my God, he's got normal dev. Look at him. Look at that face. We got a bust. Not gonna say, the throw power was good. What was it, like 96? The guy's got a cannon, but shoot, man. It's not good. We'll see what we can do with him. We'll see what the rating is. Maybe we put him in a position, get him Rookie of the Year, get the dev trade up a little bit. But yeah, not loving it, unfortunately. But you got to be able to bounce back. So let's look at our second round pick here, see who we can take. Okay, so I'm going to spare you guys the 5-10 minutes I just spent looking around for a player I felt was worth taking here early in the second round. I was not seeing any that immediately fit a position of need for us and that looked good enough, worthy of this selection. So now the move is going to be trading back, which is what we're going to try and do. Hopefully, with those points spent, we can pick up a first next year. We would have 2 to work with. That way, if the quarterback selection doesn't work out, we could pull an Arizona Cardinals, admit that we messed up with Josh Rosen, and get ourselves a Kyler Murray. Hopefully next year the quarterback class is a little bit better, and it can just be a slight blip on the radar for us. So let's see here. I'm going to assume we should be able to get, okay, good. There's the Bengals. We don't want their first round pick. We know they're going to be good. Is anyone bad willing to give us a first? Nobody. There's the Rams. I mean, the Rams, it's kind of like betting here. Who do we think is going to be worse? And the Niners? See, that's the thing, is there's the Chiefs. It's all these teams. Of course, I mean, it makes sense. If you're a bad team, you're not going to willingly give up your first round pick. The Bengals, I believe in them with Joe Burrow. The Rams, maybe you get some Stafford regression. Aaron Donald's getting up there in age. The division is tough. The 49ers, I mean, good team, but Trey Lance usually doesn't do all that well in sim. And then you got the Chiefs. The Chiefs have Mahomes. For me, it's between the Rams and the Niners. They're in the same division, so that should help. One of the two. The Rams also willing to throw in a 5th. The Niners throwing in a 7th. We'll give the Rams the slight edge because of the 5th. Just a little bit more capital for us. So, yeah, I think that's a good move for us. And remember, we do still have another second round pick from trading away Saquon. So we do still have a pick to make. And we're going to move back a little bit. And let's make that selection. Round 2, pick 22. Let's see who we've got. Okay, so obviously it wouldn't be the sexiest selection in the world, but we do have a guy here named Brandon Stackhouse. Left guard out of LSU. I feel like Madden might be trying to tell us something here. You name a guy Brandon Stackhouse. He's 21 years old, 6'3", 318. His numbers are good. And his physicals are elite. He's the strongest left guard in the class. And I know we've got Glowinski starting at a spot for us right now. So with a second round pick, let's get some protection going. He does have hidden dev. That makes me feel a little bit better about our first round pick. And I think we just got ourselves an elite left guard, which mid to late second round, you can do a lot worse than that. At least we're not reaching. We're not getting just a random skill position player who's not going to be any good for us. So I'm happy with that pick. Now we don't pick until the 4th round after trading up with the Cardinals. Let's see who might be available to us. And in the 4th round, we do have a guy here named Javon Riddick. So Javon and Kayvon playing alongside each other would be a little fun. Let's look at him. At the very least, if he's decent, could be someone to develop behind Onyemata. He is 23. I don't love that. He's decently strong. Nothing really pops, though. So the name is what drew me in. He's going to be a no. Let's look at the guy above him, Jawan Klein. Jawan Klein, are you an athlete and are you young? You're 22, so you've got a year's advantage. You're stronger. You can jump for what that's worth. And for a 4th round selection, let's do it. Why not? Normal dev, 88 strength. But at least it gives us something to work on, potentially. Okay, and now here we are in the 5th. And in the 5th round, I'm really just looking who has the fewest C's, D's, and F's. So I should say D's and F's, because if you're looking for no C's, you're going to be out of luck. Chris Moss, applesauce. Let's see, how are you? We're on your list twice. We need a linebacker. You're a decent athlete, yeah. With a 5th round pick, Chris Moss, let's go. Welcome to New York. We are now in the 6th round of the draft. The talent is scarce, but there are still players to be had. Can we find a diamond in the rough? Recent history, and by recent history I mean our last few picks, would suggest no. But crazier things have happened. Who is available here? Seeing quite a few Fs. Michael Platt, we don't necessarily need. Offensive line, your pass block and your run block are both Ds. No thanks. Spencer Hightower, your catching is an F. But are you an athlete? No, not really. I mean, I don't know that for sure. Spencer Shepard, a lot of Bs. A lot of Bs. You're 24, so already a geezer. But you're fast. We'll take ya. Yeah, normal dev, that was to be expected, but, you know, my favorite catchphrase, we could use the depth. Here we are in the 7th. I'm already over this draft class, so if we can trade back and get a 6, we're going to do it. Let's take a look here. Okay, Cincinnati, you want to give us a 6? Be our guest. And that's going to conclude what will most likely end up being a pretty lackluster draft class, unfortunately. In my defense, the picks... Oh, no, actually, we've got another pick. We'll let the CPU make that one for us. They can't do much worse than we have, and that is going to conclude the 2023 NFL Draft. Okay, and here is the draft class. So despite the normal dev, Chris Bloom is a 75 overall. Could be a lot worse. He's not the slowest guy in the world. I mean, he's not Jared Goff. 75 speed, 83 excel. He's at least worth looking at. I'm not completely bummed out that we traded up for him. Brandon Stackhouse is a 71, but that hidden dev should be good for us. And outside of that, our best selection was done by the CPU. Travis Waters, 69 overall, 94 speed, 92 excel. Well done, computer. Well done. And let's see if after the draft, some teams were not able to get wide receivers. Let's see if the offers have improved a little bit for old Kenny G. Yeah, the Bears are somehow even more desperate to give us Darnell Mooney. No clue why. We're not going to take Jacoby Myers from the Patriots. We'll wait it out. Maybe the offers improve a little bit. We'll see. And just out of curiosity, that quarterback who was projected towards the middle, I'll know his name when I see it. Was it I say that, and of course I don't. I believe it was Jared Conrad. He ends up being a 67 overall, goes in the 4th round to the Packers. I'm not entirely disappointed that we missed out on him. We did seem to get the best guy in what ended up being a pretty weak draft class. I mean, our guy was a 75, next best is a 67. So decent value that late in the draft, but overall, I'm not disappointed. Anyways, here is your new starting roster heading into the season. As of right now, Galladay is still around. I am going to try everything in my power to get him out of here. However, I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to keep him around for another year. That way, Bloom has, I guess you could call him a weapon. Loosely, I suppose. We don't really have any immediate impact rookies outside of Bloom. Stackhouse is going to ride the bench, at least for a little bit. We're going to let him develop. Give Bloom the best starting line he possibly can have. It's not the greatest supporting cast in the world, but it could definitely be worse. Heading over to the defensive side of the ball, speaking of could be worse, not amazing. Thibodeau is up to a 78, which I think that's around where he started, so that's not great. Ed Oliver has developed nicely. We're most likely going to want to bring him back. Onyemata is our starter. Here is the rookie Klein. We are going to move him up. Maybe he gets some reps in there. Dexter Lawrence is most likely going to be here to stay through his contract season. We could definitely use a second cornerback. I wish I had looked that way a little more heavily during the draft. But again, I don't suppose it's the worst thing in the world to let it ride and see what we can do with this roster. So let's get into it. Okay, so a couple weeks into the preseason, New York is willing to offer us. Is this DJ Reed? I have no idea. Here nor there, it's Reed. He's a starting level cornerback, and he gets Kenny Galladay off our backs. So, same stadium they'll be sharing, but we got ourselves a new cornerback. Yes, DJ Reed, 26 years old, 81 overall. Not bad. We're happy with that. We will take that. The offers for Dexter Lawrence. The Steelers did send us one for George Pickens, which I was intrigued with, I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, there's just really no substitute for him. We want to win as many games as we can. We've got a couple young guys who I'd like to see what they've got. So, sadly, no George Pickens. Okay, so here we are at week 1. I know we just looked at our roster. We're not going to run through it all again. But I mean, we went 6-11 last year. I'm kind of thinking that's roughly our ceiling again. With a rookie quarterback, you never know. If this guy comes in, lights the league on fire, crazier things have happened. However, the reason I say 6-11 is the ceiling is because last year I felt like 4-13 was the ceiling and we exceeded expectations. So 6-11 I feel is a realistic record for a team with this level of talent. Let's go ahead, get to the midseason point, see where we're sitting, see whose contracts will be up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so at the midseason point, we are 3-4, hanging in there, surprisingly enough, not bad, nearly at 500, coming off a 34-17 win against the Dolphins. I'm not going to look at the stats, I am going to wait until the end of the year, but it would seem that we're doing, oh, there are the stats actually, so let's see, number 25 offense and the number 14 defense, so defense has been surprising. That's good. The offense definitely leaving a lot to be desired, but, you know, when you've got, I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson and Kadarius Toney out there, we could definitely use some help. Okay, who have we got? Ed Oliver. He hates us, but we love him. So, how old is he? He's what, 25? Let's see. If we throw, oh my gosh, $20 million a year? We're going to wait on Ed Oliver. I mean, worst case, we franchise tag him. We've got the money. That wouldn't be the end of the world. Why does he not like us? What is the issue? You want to play in a warm weather state? Okay, scheme fit, fair enough. Head coach winning percentage and Super Bowl chase. Well, Ed, we're almost at 500, so I don't know what more you want from us. Xavier McKinney, also not super interested. He is a superstar, though. So let's see. I mean, that's not the worst offer in the world. If we send him a 4-year deal, okay. So we got Xavier McKinney back. That's good. We are going to come back to our friend Ed Oliver. A.J. Dillon, thanks but no thanks. Dexter Lawrence is not interested in us at all. So at this point, do we see, you know, if we have any offers sitting out there for him? And that's pretty much going to do it. So since Dexter Lawrence wants nothing to do with us apparently, let's see if there's any good offers for him. I'm hoping there are. Let's see here. Okay. Chase Claypool's a no. Will Fuller's a definite no. Yikes. Is that Daxton Hill? Isn't he like a second-year player? But we're okay at safety, though. We don't need that. I mean, is Claypool a definite no, though? Let's look at our receivers and do a serious assessment. I also want to look at him, see how many years he's got left on his contract. Is he going to be wanting to get paid soon? I would imagine so. By now, he's been in the league for a few years, so let's just take a quick look. Okay, so Claypool is an 81. He would immediately come in and be our wide receiver 2, easily. How is his contract, though? Because if he's about up... Yeah, this is his 4th year in the league. I believe he was a 2nd, maybe a 3rd round pick. Is this a contract year for Claypool as well? Because if it is, then it's a definite no for me, and I believe it is. Oh, no. They re-signed him. So, he'd be locked up. His cap hit's not terrible. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. I know our defense has been performing pretty well, but we know for a fact Dexter Lawrence is not going to be coming back. Claypool gives us something there. Our offense has not been doing well, and we want to say we did as much as we could for this rookie. And I know Chase Claypool isn't a world beater by any means, but he's something. So we're basically going to take a weakness that we had on offense, and now we have a weakness on defense. Not really trading a strength for a strength. It's not like these guys were, top of the game, but hey, we'll take it at the deadline. Saves us from, wasting a player. Let's move on to the playoffs, see if we made it by surprise. Hey, and look at that, 6-11, just like we called it. Now let's look at the stats and see what was the story of 6-11. Okay, so the offense was 28th, still not a whole lot going on there. Defense finished 18th, so they, I believe, regressed as well from where they were at the midseason point. Chris Bloom, it was an okay rookie year, 4,400 yards, 31 touchdowns, 13 picks. I guess all things considered, you can't complain. Let's view his player card. Did he go up in dev trade at all? That would be nice. Okay, he's got some skill points, so... Man, he is just... Who invited Curious George to the party? Number 16, I just feel is a very fitting number for this very goofy-looking man. Out of Bowling Green State, what more did you expect? This guy is a goofball. Which, I guess, Giants franchise history, Eli Manning, Daniel Jones, Chris Bloom is just fits right in. Rushing the ball, A.J. Dillon was, I would say, mediocre despite the touchdowns. Receiving, Tony had a good year. So did Claypool, although how many of those came with us? Wandale, not bad. Dawson Knox, decent numbers for a tight end, I suppose. How did Andrew Thomas do after letting up, 19 sacks? Did he improve? Yeah, he did. 14. There was some growth there. Nakobe Dean led the team in tackles. Okay. Kayvon got 9 sacks, 9 for Ed Oliver, so franchise tag, here we come. Julian Love got 2 picks, so did Mike Hughes, the trade edition, and Nakobe Dean got 1 as well. And so did DJ Reed. Okay. Let's go to our yearly awards. I know we're not going to have anything that's major. However, I do want to take a look at those rookie awards and see if we got anything there. Let's see. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Chris Bloom did get it, so maybe we have to wait until the end of the season. Maybe that's when the dev trait increase comes in. Defensively, nothing. Yeah, it was a bad draft class. We've had better. We will have better. But yeah, this was a bad draft. That's okay. And here is your season recap. So it looks like the San Francisco 49ers are your Super Bowl champions. They won a close one against Brian Dable's former team, the Buffalo Bills. Nick Bosa wins Super Bowl MVP. So the Bills, 5-time AFC champs, 0-time Super Bowl champions. You hate to see it. Oh. Okay. Offensive Rookie of the Year is across the board, not just NFC. So Devontae Tuck actually won Rookie of the Year for our offense. So that might be why we don't see the dev trait increase. Let's just double check and make sure he's still normal dev. Okay, so he did go up to star dev. He's 24 now. I believe he was 23 when I drafted him. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping he was not already 24. I would have felt really dumb if that's the case. I don't think I would have drafted a 24-year-old guy in the first round. We're not trying to get the next Brandon Weeden out here. But depending on who's available, I don't know if Chris Bloom is the future. Solid rookie year. He is no Josh Rosen by any means, but could there be something better? Let's find out. Not right this second, obviously. We will, but you know what I mean. Okay, let's see here. Who's ready to negotiate? Okay, so here is Ed Oliver, and at this point, we're sitting with $140 million in cap space. I am really not interested in giving you a player-friendly deal that's going to get you up to $20 million a year. You're not worth that. What I'm going to do is we're going to offer a team-friendly deal. He hates it, of course. Why wouldn't he? And Ed Oliver, is very happy to let you know that he is going to be playing on the franchise tag. And that still leaves us with $115 million to play with. Now, A.J. Dillon is gone. Onyemata's gone. Thank you for the 1 year. We don't care about kicker and punter right this second. And yeah, that's going to do it. So we are going to be entering the offseason with $115 million. We should have that franchise quarterback tag, even if we're not completely sold on him. So hopefully that should help us. Hopefully some good guys are available. And hopefully we can spend some money. And we do have some retirements. I don't think any of these are going to be giants, but let's see, around the NFC at least, who is relevant to us? Who is retiring in the NFC? Adam Thielen, Cam Jordan. Oh, Tyrod Taylor did retire. And yeah, that'll do it. Justin Houston did join the Cardinals. Interesting, which is where most old pass rushers go to die, right, J.J. Watt? Anyways, let's get into free agency. And before we do, let's just assess our needs. So offensively, the positions I would say we're fine at. Tackle, center, tight end. Outside of that, I'm open to pretty much everything else. Guards, well, we do have Stackhouse, who is up to a 74. Wow, exciting. Receiver, I wouldn't say we have a true difference maker there necessarily. We definitely need a running back. Defensively, it's kind of going to be a mess. Nakobe Dean has not developed at all, unfortunately, so we need middle linebackers. Kayvon is still just a 79. I mean, do we throw him on the trade block? I feel bad. Would he do better as a defensive end? I genuinely don't know. Let's change him to left end because he's not been producing for us. And I usually do run a 4-3. So, do we change to a 4-3? Which I guess, if we're going to move Kayvon to left end, it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and get that out of the way right now anyways. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that because he just has not been producing the way that we want him to, the way that we would expect. And it is a shame. What does that take his overall to? He's an 80 as a defensive end in a 3-4. That, of course, leaves us with about nobody. We don't have any DTs, although Ed Oliver could move back to his natural position. That'd probably make him pretty happy. He might want to play for us again. Yeah, we're in a transition. We're going to go to a 4-3 before we get into free agency. Let's go ahead. Let's do that. Okay, so we are transitioning to a 4-3 cover 3 defense with the Niners defensive playbook. I feel their defense usually does pretty well in Sim, so that is what we're running moving forward. And now with all of that being said, here is your new defense. So Kayvon and Ed Oliver are going to be playing off the edge. Ed Oliver actually is a scheme fit there, so if we do decide to re-sign him, that should hopefully work in our favor. But heading into free agency, DT's a need, corner, a whole new linebacking core, and even safety. I don't love what we have there. Xavier, of course, we don't need a free safety. And is he up to an X Factor? Am I seeing that correctly? Yes, Xavier McKinney is a superstar X Factor, which is surprising, but I'm definitely not going to complain about that. So happy to see it. I believe the only X Factor on the team right now. But anyways, it's a 79 overall team. Unfortunately, just the last offseason, it was our first offseason. There really weren't any great guys available, and then the draft did not just quite go our way. So let's look at the free agents. Fingers crossed there are some decent guys out here, and fingers crossed they like us. Okay, so right off the bat, Nick Bosa. He does have interest in us. Do we ride it out with Kayvon? I think we do. I think we do, because I'd love to bring in Nick Bosa, but he's going to want $30 million a year. I just don't want to pay that. I honestly don't. Joe Burrow's available. I brought Joe Burrow into Chicago, though. That's the thing. Who's going to be available as a rookie? Because Justin Herbert is out there as well. I feel if we go out and pay these quarterbacks these insane amounts of money, then it's not going to be worth it. And unlike my Bears rebuild, Joe Burrow was sitting around free agency. No one was interested in him. This time around, teams are bidding. So we're not going to get into that. especially when neither of them are huge fans of ours. Who else we got out here? Darren Waller. We don't need a tight end. We could use a kicker. We'll come back to Justin Tucker. Kendall Fuller just feels like a Giant signing. A 29-year-old cornerback. No thanks. Trevon Diggs. That's 6. Okay, yeah. We'll go after Trevon Diggs. Why not? Swoop him away from the Cowboys. He's an X factor. 88, still young. If we offer him a player-friendly deal, where does that put us? There's someone. How does he feel about that? He likes it. Okay. We could use a running back. No one has gone after Cam Akers. And that would save us from having to blow a draft pick on one. We don't want him for 5 years, though. We'll offer him a team-friendly deal. We'll do that for Cam Akers. I think that would be worth it. He would fit our scheme. I like that. He's probably going to take his time, I'm not going to lie. Hollywood would be intriguing. He just doesn't like us. And he is starting to get up there in age. Bobby Wagner. We'll come back to Bobby Wagner. T. Higgins would be intriguing. Pittman does like us, but we already kind of have a similar player in Claypool. Jerry Jeudy would be a lot of fun. Yeah, let's throw Jerry Jeudy an offer. We don't really have a guy in that mold. He doesn't have anyone going after him. Jerry Jeudy would be fun. Who else we got here? After Jerry Jeudy. Awuzie, Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, Judy's younger anyways. Stephon Gilmore's up there in age. Noah Fant, we don't need him. We're okay at center. No. Just kind of taking a casual look around here. Leonard Williams, we could bring him back, but I'm good on that. I mean, intriguing tackle options. I just like what we have at tackle, and they don't really like us. Let's sort by interest. Are there any hidden gems out there who really like us who we haven't seen yet? We could use a new... No. We don't need Jordan Poyer. We do not need Jordan Poyer. I'm going to stop myself right there. Donovan Peoples-Jones, that's a no for me. If we could get Kendall Fuller on a 1-year deal, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Sure. Yeah, we'll bring you in for 1 year. Not 2, 3, 4, 5 years like I feel the Giants... Well, the previous Giants regime probably would have done in real life. We're not interested in that. No, thank you. Who else we got here? Anyone at all? Anyone want to come? Gabe Davis would be intriguing, but I'd rather have Jeudy. Javon Hargrave, if he wants a 1-year deal, I could go after that. Not bad, yeah. He wants to come in for a year. That would fill a hole for us. Not bad. Anyone else? Oh, no, that's all 5 guys. Okay. Let's go to my signings. We're going to hit the left trigger, evaluate, and we're going to pray. See who we get here. Hopefully 5 for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who is still holding out? Cam Akers. Okay, Cam. Why are you being difficult? We'll just bump you up a little bit. Not what I love to pay for a running back, but one who's 88 with star dev and still pretty young, I could swing that. You like the deal. Okay, you're gone. And there you are. Okay, so free agency. We ran on a 1-year deal. Kendall Fuller, Trevon Diggs is here long term. Cam Akers, Jerry Jeudy, and Javon Hargrave. So with $50 million left to spare, we have upgraded this roster a decent bit. And already up to an 83 overall, by far the best we've looked at all this video. Let's take an updated look at this roster, see how we're doing. We're just going to go ahead here. If the EA servers would be so kind to let us look at the team we've worked so hard to build, here we are. We'll go generate best lineup. And here we go, brand new running back, Cam Akers. New wide receiver 1, Jerry Jeudy, with Kadarius Toney on the other side. Claypool taking the third spot. That's a good receiving core. Dawson Knox adds to that. Haven't really added any linemen, but there haven't really been any out there that I've considered to be worth it. Defensive side of the ball, it's a whole new corner duo with Fuller and Diggs. We've got good depth there with Mike Hughes, so I like what we have there in the secondary. So heading into the draft, and yes, we did bring in Javon Hargrave, so the defensive line's in decent shape. We still really need linebackers. We really need another DT. And I would say definitely some interior O-line help. Let's head back to free agency, see if there's anyone we missed. Okay, so second wave of free agency, who is still out there? Nick Bosa, as much as I would love him, whatever that team is that's interested in him, I'm going to let them pay him $31 million a year. Burrow and Herbert are still weighing their options, as they deserve to. Justin Tucker, we do need a kicker. Not the most exciting move, but he's 34. Let's just go ahead. Let's just get him locked up for the foreseeable future because kicker is just a position I don't like to have to worry about. And when you can get the greatest of all time, why not? Who else is here? Hollywood. We're good at receiver now. We're going to ignore receiver, tight end, running back. We don't need defensive ends. Deion Jones. If we could get him on a 1-year deal, I wouldn't be opposed. No, he wants 4. When you're 29 years old and you're asking for a 4-year deal, that's going to be a pretty big no for me, big dog. Who else we got? We don't need corners. We don't need a strong safety. Do we have a punter right now? I genuinely cannot remember. We do not. Let's get the punter position locked down as well. Jake Bailey, I hope you enjoy making money because that's what you're going to do here. And let's just scroll down our list if we so can. Let's see. Who else we got here? There's got to be somebody. Let's just sort it because I'm not seeing anything that I like. Let's go to the left guard spot. Yikes. Nothing that's going to be a massive upgrade over what we already have. Yeah, we're okay there. Let's head over to the linebackers. Kayvon Chaison's a no. Deion Jones, would love to have him, just would hate to pay him. Who else we got? Alex Highsmith. Ugh. Akeem Davis-Gaither. Yeah, these options are gross. That's okay. We've got the draft. Let's go ahead, evaluate. Hopefully we can get our special teams locked down. It's looking that way. Yes, we've got a kicker. We've got a punter. And with how we did in the first round, I would say this free agency period, this is a massive win for us. This has been a great free agency. And while we're here, let's look at our college players heading into the draft just to see what kind of talent we might be looking at the quarterback position. Because the good news is we have a guy who, he was okay as a rookie, good considering the talent that he had around him, and it wouldn't be the end of the world to allow him to play out a second year if there's no one really available. However, as I muddle my way to the prospect screen, it does look like there are some guys there. So Will Harris, I mean, that just sounds like, okay. Yeah, Will Harris sounds like a good name. But anyways, this is a much better class than last year's. We have so many guys projected to go. We've got 2 top 5 talents, Will Harris and Dakota Monroe. Dakota Monroe, he's got a couple C's there. I don't know if I love that, but Will Harris, let's take a quick gander at him. How old is he? He's 21. Immediately like that, a deep accuracy. He is slow. And honestly, I know there's really no logic behind it. I mean, there is logic. You look at the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, they can move at least a little bit. I mean, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Mahomes. Even though, I mean, yeah, Josh Allen, he's an athlete. Mahomes and Herbert, maybe they're not the most athletic, and shoot, Lamar Jackson, but they can at least move around. They can pick up a first down running the ball if they need to. I don't really love Dakota Monroe either. And call me biased, I don't like the name. Justin Dobson, he is a scrambler. I'm going to assume he's probably pretty fast. How old is he? 22. That's not awful. He ran a 4.48, so the man is quick. He's decently strong. His agility is top-notch. He's interesting. I will say that. And the good news is we probably won't have to trade up for him. It won't show me what picks I have. I know we've got 2 first-round picks, so that's intriguing. Okay, Justin Dobson could be a target for us. We'll stick a pin in that and we'll come back to it. Honestly, though, I am a bit torn because Chris Bloom, he's not awful. 78 overall. He's still just 24. He's not going to grow into something incredible. But can he be good? I would say so. He's got that tag, award winner, QB of the future. I don't know. We'll wait and see. We'll see how the draft falls. We'll see if there's anyone that we like on the board. I'm not opposed to giving Chris Bloom one more year now with a revamped roster that actually looks good for once. Let's get to the draft, see if anything interesting comes up along the way, and see what we can do to put the finishing touches on what is now the best roster we've had to work with. Now we do have a 5th-year option. Who could this be? Genuinely am drawing a blank on who this 5th-year option could be for. It's Kadarius Toney. Yeah, we're going to pick up Kadarius Toney's option. I didn't know he was a first-round pick. I don't know why I thought he was a second-rounder, but yeah, we'll pick up Toney. I think being a complimentary piece to Jerry Jeudy will do him well. He's done well for us so far. So yeah, Toney's worth it. We get him back for another year. Now, I do want to quickly look at the free agency recap because we did have 2 premier quarterbacks on the market. I would love to see where they went, as well as some of the other great players around the league like Nick Bosa, who we really thought about going after. He is headed to the Panthers. So assuming Brian Burns is still there, that should be a heck of a duo. Joe Burrow is a Patriot. Wow, interesting. Justin Herbert is going to the Bengals. Bit of a slap in the face. They're going to pay Herbert when they wouldn't pay Burrow. And they're actually... No, Burrow got a bigger bonus. I was going to say, if the Bengals are paying more for Justin Herbert than what they would have for Joe Burrow, that would be the ultimate form of disrespect. But either way, very interesting. They both stay in the AFC, so hopefully you get some Patriots-Bengals playoff games. That would be exciting. Darren Waller is also joining the Bengals, so Herbert gets himself an elite target, albeit a 31-year-old target. Darius Slay is getting up there in age. He's headed to the Bears. Another team that I feel attracts aging corners for some reason. No evidence to back it up. Hollywood is headed to the Steelers. Bobby Wagner is going to finish up his career with the Bears. Fitting. T. Higgins is going to the Colts. Michael Pittman, fellow 2020 draftee, is going to the Niners. Cheetah Bays to the Falcons. Brandon Ayuk to the Bills. Stephon Gilmore, somehow still kicking, is headed to the Broncos. Noah Fant to the Cardinals. Jason Kelce to the Bears. They've had a busy free agency. John Johnson to the Lions. Clyde Edwards-Helaire to the Falcons. Adoree Jackson to the Eagles. Adoree Jackson, we traded him away. Interesting. Okay. Deion Jones, overpaid by the Jets, so they've gone back to their old ways. Gabe Davis to the Titans. Leonard Williams to the Cowboys. Mekhi Becton to the Broncos. Jedrick Wills to the Titans. Grover Stewart to the Broncos. Anyone else here super intriguing? A.J. Dillon, our former guy, headed to Miami. Okay. Not really seeing a whole lot else here to be excited about. So that is your free agency recap. Okay, so at long last, the 2024 NFL Draft is here. Before we get into it, let's do a quick look at our lineup and see what needs we might have entering the draft. Aside from wanting a shiny new toy at quarterback, what legitimate needs does this roster have? We're in 83 right now. I feel that's good enough for 8 or 9 wins, but we don't want 8 or 9 wins. We want to make the playoffs and we want to contend. So, okay, obviously, interior O-line, we want to upgrade from Mark Glowinski. He is starting to regress. He wasn't great to begin with. I don't really love anyone we have here. I like what we have at tackle. I think we're okay there. The weapons are fine. I mean, as far as receiver goes, I think we're okay. I really do. I always like to look, just see if any freaky athletes are out there, but I think we'll probably stay put at receiver. Defensively, we definitely need a DT. We need linebackers like crazy. We've needed linebackers the whole video. But now transitioning to a new scheme, I definitely think they're important. Safety, I think we're okay at least as far as this draft is concerned. Maybe next draft we upgrade from Love, but as of right now, I would say interior O-line, DT, and linebacker. Now let's get into it. Okay, so the Minnesota Vikings, they have secured the number 1 overall pick. Looks like the Texans get back-to-back, roughly top 5 picks. That's interesting. Who did the Vikings take number 1? Just out of curiosity. They go with a quarterback, Will Harris. Okay. There's one off the board. We do not want to resume the draft. Who are the Falcons going to take? And then after that, we'll go ahead and sim to our selection. They go defensive end, Elijah Shelton. Now, we are on the board at number 7 overall, so solid selection there. And then again at 15. So I'm wondering, that pick that we traded for last year, I believe that was the Bengals, did they struggle? Because I don't think 6 and 11 would secure the number 7 pick. Either way, we're happy with it. Let's see who's available. Okay, so I'm going to start with the linebackers, just because that position is such a mess right now. Starting with the left side, there aren't really any scheme fits for us, seeing as we just transitioned to a 4-3. So I'm not really liking anyone there, at least not guys projected to go in the first round. We're not going to reach for anyone with a pick this high. We do have Gerald Hayes. He's not quite a scheme fit, but intriguing. Let's take a look at him. He is 21, out of Florida. Decent stats, decent athlete. Pretty good, actually, not bad. He's not a perfect scheme fit. We want a run stopper. He's pass coverage. He's okay. Let's come back to him. And then on the right side, even worse than the left. Sadly, this is just not a very good linebacker class. Let's see who else we've got available. So, I mean, outside of linebacker, I would say our next biggest need is going to be DT. That leaves us with, who we got here? Colin Coleman, C blockshed, B finesse, B to D power, A tackle. Not bad. Projected rounds 1 to 2. How is he looking? He is 21 years old. Okay. How are his athletics? He's okay. It's a pretty good athlete. A 4.93, not bad for a DT. I mean, big guy, 38 reps on the bench. He's strong. This is tough. So let me just see here. He's projected rounds 1 to 2. What about our other guy, Gerald Hayes? Also projected rounds 1 to 2. When they say rounds 1 to 2, I'm thinking like mid-first. Do we really need to spend the 7th overall pick on either of these guys? I don't think so. Let's see if we can trade back from this pick, and we should be able to get at least one, if not both of them. Okay, so let's take a look at our offers here. We do still want to stay relatively high within the first, mid-first. If we could pick up a first next year again, that would be amazing. Okay, so we're in what, 2024? Yes. The Bengals want to give us number 27. Don't know about that. Bills 31. Let's see. What is the highest first-round pick we can get this year? There's the Bucs with 22. That's not bad. And a first and a second next year. I like that. That is very intriguing. Let's see. Titans want to give us 28. Nah. What else we got here? That Bucs offer is looking like by far the best. The Ravens, no, because they're not throwing in a second. Yeah, that Bucs offer is looking like the move. The Panthers are close. They pick what, 20th? Let's come back to that. Let's see, the Packers are 26, bit too far. Okay. The Jets would give us 12 and a second next year, but I would like to pick up a first if I could. Yeah, that Bucks offer is good. I really like that. Keeps us around the middle. Everyone's interested in trading up. Okay, so let's review here. Who did we like? The Bucks, and who else was it? The Panthers? Look at me forgetting. Okay, the Panthers want to give us 20, a 1, and a 3. And the Bucks would give us 22, a 1, and a 2. Yeah, we're taking the Bucks offer. That is a good offer right there. Done deal. Okay, so we are off the clock. We're back up again at 15, though. So not a long wait. Let's see who's available. Okay, and here we are. Let's take a look. I don't know that I necessarily had a preference. I think I would probably lean towards the DT. I'm praying he's still there. Just because, I mean, he looked like a really good athlete. I'm not going to lie. Let's look at him first. We're going to make the decision here. Colin Coleman, there he is. 6'5", 300, and the guy's decently fast. And then you've got Gerald Hayes. Gerald Hayes, let's give him one last look here, because I definitely am leaning towards the DT right now. He's 21. I like the age. 21 is the sweet spot. He's not super strong. He's agile. This is tough. This is a tough decision. I'm going to hope and pray that both of these guys are available to us, but I got to go with my heart here and with my gut, and that is telling me Colin Coleman is the newest member of the New York Football Giants. Let's pray here. Hidden Dev? No. Frick. Okay. 93 strength, though. 93 strength. Happy with that, I suppose. That's what I'm going to tell myself at least. Let's skip ahead here. Hurts. Had really good luck with Hidden Dev in my Bears video. I just want to put that out there. Let's go find our linebacker here, who is going to be the newest member of the team. Let's look at him. I mean, we desperately need middle linebacker help. Is he the best guy? Gerald Hayes, A to C block shed, B to D pursuit, C tackling, B zone coverage. C, I am a little torn on him because the C tackling with that strength, it does hurt. I mean, is he worth the 22nd overall pick? I don't know. I want to take a look around here. We need line help. Let's weigh our options. Let's not get hasty with Mr. Hayes. And I know I'm dragging my feet, but with this selection, I wasn't blown away with who we got just a few minutes ago. I really would like to get this right. So the quarterbacks that we liked, they're gone. So we are going to move forward with our guy. The interior O-line, who have we got here? Anyone projected the first couple rounds? Aaron Simpson, but I'm not loving his numbers. No. Who else we got? Yeah, no thanks to Nick Ridley and your F run blocking. I'm good on that. Same with Henry LeClaire. Yeah, I'm good on that too. So, yeah, we're not going to overthink it. We're going to go with our guy, Gerald Hayes. We desperately need linebacker, and we very well could come back to this position, but as of right now, we're going to take him. And he does have Hidden Dev. Okay, good. So we made the right decision. I'm very happy with that. I'm glad we got him. I'm glad he was there. 89 speed. That's nice. Yeah, he's going to be good for us. I'm excited by that. And the good news is we're not going to have to wait long for our next selection. We pick in the second round, pick 7. Let's see who might be available to us here. Okay, so with this selection, our third pick of the draft, I definitely am interested in looking back at that offensive line. Now that it wouldn't be such a reach, here's who we've got. Left guard, Jermaine Montague. Not a single D on the list. He has that as an advantage. Cliff McLaughlin is definitely interesting. A to C in every single category. That is intriguing. Let's go ahead Let's compare them here, see what we're looking at. Just out of curiosity, he's 23. Don't know if I love that. Pretty good athlete. Really good athlete, in fact. Tops in nearly every category, so Jermaine is looking good. Who else we got here? Matt Leonard? I mean, might as well give him a look while we're here. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so he is 21. That is a 2-year difference. How are the physicals? He's strong. He's agile. I don't know. The age is a factor for me. Matt Leonard is intriguing at 21 years old. I mean, a 2-year difference. When the rookie contract expires, would you rather your guy be 25 or 27? Let's look at Cliff here. He's got really good grades. Let's look at him. He's also 23. Okay. He is the strongest. They're all good athletes. I feel they are all comparable. Let's give them one last quick look here. So Jermaine, lowest, let's see, A to C. He does have C pass block. Matt Leonard has B pass block. I like that. Cliff, we don't know. Cliff has some ranges. Cliff, we don't know that these are all A's or B's. He very well could have C's in every category. With Matt, we're guaranteed 3 that are B or higher. And with Jermaine, we're guaranteed nothing. So yeah, when you put it like that, I'm thinking the 21-year-old. Let's just quickly look at the other positions here. Tucker Rogers, let's look at him. We don't necessarily need a center, though, so that would be a position change. I mean, unless he's freaky. He's 21. He didn't participate in the combine. I don't know what that means. I believe that's not good. I believe if they don't... correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know. But I don't think that's good. And then Matthew Preston... We're not going to do a position change. And then the right side, these are all day 3 guys. So yeah, we're going to go with the young guy, Matt Leonard, Michigan State. Welcome to New York. And please be good. Oh, yes. Okay. Hidden Dev. Perfect. So we're what? 2 for 3 so far on the Hidden Dev? This is a good draft. This is a huge bounce back for us. We needed this. And we pick again early 3rd. So honestly, I'm thrilled with the way things are going so far. I'm glad we didn't reach for a quarterback. Not that one was available. I didn't really check the first time around when we traded back, but I'm glad that we didn't go that route. I'm glad we're giving Bloom a 2nd year. Now with the 3rd round pick, let's see who we're going after. And now that we're in the 3rd, I do want to just take a quick look, see whose contracts are up. We looked at our immediate needs, but what about our future needs? So corner, Kendall Fuller, I don't think he'll be here longer than a year. Maybe we go cornerback. Ed Oliver, his contract will be up. Well, Ed Oliver, though, now that we've changed his position, I think he'll be willing to stick around long term. I'm hoping Andrew Thomas will keep him around long term. We're not going to worry about that. Javon Hargrave, that is definitely something. We already went DT once. But do we keep the 31-year-old around for another year? I don't think so. I really don't. Another corner, DJ Reed. That is a position that might be worth looking at. Azeez Ojulari, we already know about the linebackers. We know that. David Edwards, the left guard. We did just kind of fill that need. But Mark Glowinski, we are going to have another need at guard. So still, I would say guard, maybe now corner and DT are positions I'm going to focus on for the remainder of the draft. So now here, in the 3rd round and later, it is going to take a little bit more attention to detail, I would say, as far as, what our scheme fits are, who's going to fit that need. And one guy that I do notice here is linebacker Bobby Grant. And unlike the guys around him, I'm not seeing any Fs on him. Justin Covington, possible F in zone coverage. And we want pass coverage, which Bobby Grant is an A in that category. Aaron Kerr, F block shedding. Don't love that. I mean, Bobby Grant, sure, it's a D, but we're guaranteed A zone coverage, whereas Aaron Kerr is in that A to C range. So I'm thinking with a round 3 selection, let's look at Bobby Grant because we know our linebacking core is such a mess right now. He's 23, not a massive fan of that. He is fast. He's agile. I mean, number 1 in the 3-cone and the 20-yard shuttle, the guy can move. So as far as coverage goes, I've got a feeling he's going to be good. He at least is going to be better, I feel, than what we have right now. So despite the age, as much as I love to go 21, 22 years old, we'll take a flyer on the 23-year-old out of Texas Tech. And he does have hidden dev. Yes, okay, 87 speed, 91 excel. Oh my gosh. This is an all-time draft. This is incredible. I truly am in shock right now. I mean, especially when you compare it to what we had last year. This is what, 3 hidden dev guys? Incredible. You add that to the offseason that we had, the free agents that we brought in. New York is back on the map. It was not looking good the first year or two, but now heading into year 3, we're building something. We are building something. Okay, so now here in the 4th round, I want to look at the DTs because we did mention Javon Hargrave is just signed to that 1-year deal. So we have a need there. He's 31, probably not going to be here longer than a single season. So maybe we find a developmental guy. The first guy on the list, Stephon Taylor. He's not bad. I'm not necessarily blown away by anything. I mean, jumping for a DT is not going to do it for me. His 3-cone and his 20-yard shuttle are decent, but the bench isn't amazing. And for a DT, I'd like to see a little bit better than that. So I think we will pass on him. He's the only one projected rounds 2 and 3. Let's see here. So we've got Byron Walters. He is a scheme fit. He is a scheme fit. And if it's day 3, then taking them in the 4th round, I wouldn't consider that a reach at that point. His block shedding is C to F. His tackle is guaranteed D, so he would be a project. He's pretty strong, decently fast. We might come back to him. Let's give it 1 or 2 more, just because I really want to make sure that we're getting the best guy possible here. Next up, we've got Quincy Cooper out of Louisville. How old are you? He is, okay, so he's 21, the youngest so far. C block shed, D finesse, C power, B tackle. So I feel we could mold him. The finesse moves don't necessarily have to be great. Let's look at the physicals. No. Are you, bro, 44 reps? Are you kidding me? I literally have never seen that before. We're drafting him. I don't care. He's a freak. I can't believe we found that. 97 strength. I mean, let me know in the comments, have you ever seen a bench press like that? I can't even say I'm surprised to see the hidden dev here. What a find. Wow. Okay, Quincy Cooper, welcome to New York in the most stacked draft I have ever seen. I mean, I was just complaining earlier saying I was getting these hidden devs in the Bears videos. Well, here they are. This makes up for the last draft and then some. It truly does not matter who we get at this point because we have gotten some great players and an absolute freak, man. 97 strength. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what we have around the NFL, but 97 strength has got to be around top of the league. I mean, it has to. Anyways, we are now in the 6th, and for right now, let's look at the cornerback spot. We've got Cole Banks here. He is 23, a little bit on the older side, D zone. He's slow. He's agile. So yeah, I mean, he would be an okay slot corner. In the 6th, maybe worth a reach. Is there anyone, though, who might be a little bit better? Eli Anderson has C zone coverage. If he's an athlete, I think we take him. Let's see. He's 23. He's slow. Really slow. I mean, not really slow, but by cornerback standard, I don't even remember what it was, like 4.58. Let's see. I'm just looking to see if anything pops out at me. Any A's or B's or anything that's not an F would be great. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Let's take our slot guy. We'll take Cole Banks here. He is a scheme fit. Day 3 projected, so it's not a reach by any means. Let's see. We are a top fit for him. Okay, normal dev, he breaks the streak, but solid athlete, gives us some depth there. Can possibly grow behind our veterans and give us a little bit of insurance heading into next year. Let's go ahead. So that was the 5th. So we're still in the 5th. And at this point, I mean, we've drafted so many guys who are just incredible prospects. I'm kind of in trade back mode. Can we get a 4th for next year? Just to start giving us some ammunition for 2025, yeah. We'll trade with Cincinnati. Maybe they find a new player for Justin Herbert, their new quarterback. And honestly, I'm just ready to sim it out. I've had a good draft, a great draft, honestly. I'm thrilled with it. Let's get into the post-draft recap, see what we're working with, and see what kind of team we have heading into 2024. Okay, the draft is over. Let's get into that recap here, see what kind of talent we're working with. We know we've got plenty of hidden dev, just hopefully some high overalls. Okay, and here they are. Colin Coleman, first selection, 75 overall. Okay, instant stud. Gerald Hayes, 71, so some room to grow. But I believe he was one of our hidden dev guys. I'm pretty sure that he was. Okay, he is. So we don't know what the dev trait is, but he should grow at a decent rate. And I believe he'd be good enough to be an instant starter for us, if I'm not mistaken. Matt Leonard, 74. I think we could instantly insert him in for Mark Glowinski. Bobby Grant's a 73. Quincy Cooper, that's our 97 strength guy. He's a 71. Okay. And look at the CPU, even getting us a 68 out here. And Cole Banks, who was normal dev, is a 69. Nice. Not bad. Yeah, I mean, overall, very good draft class. Very, very good. I mean, did we just become contenders? I don't say that lightly, but I mean, maybe not. Maybe we need to see how these guys actually perform on the field. I don't want to get too carried away, but I feel after 2 6-11 seasons, a little excitement is in order here. Things are looking up for the Giants. Okay, so here is your new starting roster, and out of one draft class, you get one new starter on the offensive side of the ball. Keep in mind, we didn't go very heavy on the offense, but you do have a new starting right guard there. Leonard is going to move up in place of Glowinski. Technically a little bit of a lower overall, but still close enough to where I feel that's more than worth it. It's not going to hurt things. And yeah, I would say this is a solid offense. I think we can score a lot of points here. Looking at the defensive side, massive impacts here. You've got Coleman, the 97 strength DT, is going to immediately step in. I'm glad that we picked him. Actually, no, he wasn't even the 97 strength. That was Cooper. So Cooper is going to come in on, certain downs and play in place of either Hargrave or Coleman when they need a breather. And he is going to develop, and that should give us a nice DT duo for years to come once Hargrave's contract is up. Of course, we will keep him for a year. 83 overall. We need good players like that. I like what we have on the defensive line. And then in the linebacking core, completely made over. So you've got Grant, immediate starter. Hayes, we are going to be demoting Nakobe Dean because our defense has been atrocious. And I feel that a 71 overall rookie at this point is going to be more valuable than a 24, 25-year-old at this point, 75, who just, to this point, has not done a whole lot of anything. So I'm happy with the team. Overall, I feel there are no major holes left. I either like the guys that we have, they're good players, or we have promising rookies in those spots. So I feel this is a team on the rise. We're an 82 overall right now, but I definitely think with, proper progression, this can be an 84, 85, maybe even 86 overall team by the end of the year, which at that point, in my eyes, is definitely a playoff team. And here we are at week 1, 83 overall team, whole new defensive scheme, a lot of new faces on both sides of the ball. It's going to be very interesting, but for the first time, I am going to set my season goal to make the playoffs because I legitimately believe we have a playoff team. I don't know how the schedule is. I don't know how competitive the division is right now. Of course, the Cowboys are always good. It's Madden. But I truly do feel an 83 overall team with a young ascending quarterback. If things go right, as long as the schedule's not crazy, that's a playoff team. Let's sim to the midseason point, see whose contracts we're going to have to worry about, and see how many wins we have. Okay, so here we are at the midseason point, and we are 1-6. I genuinely am shocked. I'm not going to lie. How? How is this team 1-6? We've gone 6-11 with Daniel Jones and Kenny Golladay. How's this happening? Okay, we have a top 15 offense and a bottom of the league defense. Okay, so clearly it is an adjustment. I guess we sim to the postseason and, see. I know I was excited. We had a lot of hidden dev guys, but I guess just because you're hidden dev doesn't mean you're going to work out. Or even if you are, it might take some time. I guess it's just year 1 growing pains, but man, these year 1 growing pains are 1-6. And the thing that's annoying is I know we're going to turn it around and go 7-10 and not even get a great draft pick. I guarantee it. Just watch. 100%. We'll look at the games. I promise I don't force any wins or losses. We'll look. I'm going to call it right now. We're going to finish 7-10, get a mediocre draft pick, and still not make the playoffs after this pathetic 1-6 start. And look, 6-11. I mean, the Madden gods, they hate us. This is 3 straight years now in a row. 6-11. This is BS. This is straight BS. Let's look at the stats. We'll go back. We'll look at the schedule, but we had a top 15 offense? Yeah, now we're 17th. And the defense, still 28th. How? How does the offense regress and the defense stays terrible, but we start winning games? Chris Bloom, it's not working. I know it's probably a little premature to say that. Cam Akers, though, was a nice offseason addition. 1,200 yards, 18 touchdowns, very nice. In the receiving game, Tony had a good year. Judy's also over 1,000, and Claypool. We did have 3,000-yard receivers, so that's worth mentioning for sure. Evan Neal lets up 14 sacks. Andrew Thomas with 13. So Andrew Thomas has improved each year in the league. I'm going to assume we got no pressure. And that would be correct. Javon Hargrave led the team with 9 sacks. Colin Coleman, the rookie, though, had 9, so that's exciting. Kayvon has 9, almost hitting double digits, so a solid year. Ed Oliver was actually pretty quiet, so could he be on the way out? Kendall Fuller, the 1-year addition with 5 picks. Will he just be a 1-year addition? Interesting questions to ask. But yeah, definitely not thrilled. Mahomes is your MVP. Let's look at our NFC awards. Just going to quickly run through these. Cam Akers does come in at 8 for Offensive Player of the Year. We don't have any Giants. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going to assume, nobody, because our only starter was a lineman. Colin Coleman does win Defensive Rookie of the Year, though, and Bobby Grant comes in at 2nd, so a few positives there, some silver linings, I suppose. Let's look at the schedule. Okay, so regular season, a 3-point loss, a 3-point loss, a blowout, a 3-point loss, a 6-point loss, so close losses. Lose by a touchdown, go on a little win streak right around the time I call it, lose by 10, another 3-point loss, a touchdown loss, and a 3-point loss. How many one-possession losses did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. eight eight one-score losses. That's crazy. This team was that close to, instead of going 6-11, going 14-3. I mean, you got to win them, but positives, I guess. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's going to be an interesting offseason. While I was busy throwing my hissy fit at the midseason point, I completely forgot to try and re-sign anybody, so we're going to have one chance to do that, and I have a feeling, if I remember correctly, we've got some good guys who are coming due, so that is not the most encouraging. Looks like the Raiders win the Super Bowl. Good for them. So happy for them. Josh Jacobs is Super Bowl MVP. Mahomes is regular season MVP, as I already mentioned. Oh, good for the Eagles. Their quarterback wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. So happy for the Philadelphia Eagles. We do get a Defensive Rookie of the Year, though, so that is promising. Very, very small silver lining in what was a lost season, where we don't quite come in last in the NFC East, although I kind of wish we would have. If we're going to go 6-11, we might as well lose a few more and get a good draft pick out of it, but whatever. Let's look at the retirements on a positive note, I suppose. Who is leaving the NFL? A.J. Bouye, Fletcher Cox is a Saint, and he's retiring. Demario Davis, Lane Johnson, J.J. Watt, probably 5 years too late. No, not 5. I'm being dramatic. 1 or 2. The Bears have 2 offensive linemen retire, so interesting. But none for us, because we have a bunch of young, promising guys who so far have not fulfilled those promises. Let's get into, okay, we don't want to skip that. We do want to try and negotiate. We've got quite a few players whose contracts are up. And who might those be? We have a lot of cap space. Kendall Fuller would like to come back for 1 year, and after giving us 5 interceptions, I would agree with that. Will he take a neutral offer, though? I just have a bad feeling. Okay, perfect. I was being a little pessimistic there, but Kendall Fuller is back for another year. Ed Oliver has gone up on us a little bit since he's a scheme fit. However, he just has not quite been getting it done. But on the flip side, who do we really have to replace him? Nobody. We've got some high draft picks. I really don't want to pay him $20 million a year. If he's going to give us a handful of sacks, he's just not worth it. Okay, here's someone who is worth it. Andrew Thomas, our franchise left tackle. 84 overall. He's 26 years old. Ooh, I don't know if he'll like a neutral deal, though. What if we bump it up just a little bit? I don't want to pay him $20 million a year. He's not worth that. Okay, perfect. We've got Andrew Thomas locked down for the next 3 years. That's good. DJ Reed can hit the market. Javon Hargrave can. We planned for that, even though he was solid for us. David Edwards and Mark Glowinski. We did draft some linemen, so we're okay there. And yeah, I mean, good news overall. The only player that we're losing is Ed Oliver, really, who did not produce for us the way that we would want him to. Although in his defense, he is a DT, not a defensive end. We didn't move his position around, so there is something to be said for that. So we're going to head into the offseason with most of our core intact and around $100 million in cap space. And maybe, just maybe, if we're really good, the EA gods will let us win more than 6 games this year. Let's go ahead and find out. And here we are at free agency. After spending the experience points that we had, we are up to an 86 overall team, which I did say was the goal, so that is good. Bloom is up to an 80 overall, and heading into his 3rd season, we would like to see a little bit more than that. So I definitely think, despite how lovably goofy he looks, I think he might be better off elsewhere. And I say that because I know we have 2 first-round picks. I will have to look and see where they're slated to be, what kinds of quarterbacks are available, but we're going to make a move there. We have to. I am so tired of going 6-11 and throwing 30 touchdown passes. Just a few observations here. Stackhouse has been waiting in the wings for a few years. He is now going to start. He's up to a 78, so not bad. And of course, we love the name. The receiving core is good. Cam Akers is a 90 overall. I like what we have on the offensive line. It's a young core, and it's led by two very strong tackles. I like what we have offensively. Defensively, what do we have here? So, Coleman, he did grow into an 83 overall. Who else we got here? Klein and Cooper. Was Cooper the one with 97 strength? I believe so. And if so, why do we have him at defensive end? That's what I would like to know. Let's check the ratings here. Yeah, so he was our guy who has really high strength. And they're probably putting him there just because we really don't have anyone at that spot right now. So despite the fact that I like what we have, defensive end is going to be a need for us. Even if we could upgrade on Kayvon, I'm fine with that. I like what we have at corner. At this point, though, is it worth questioning if we upgrade at safety? I think so. I also think that the linebacking core, despite the draft investments, it might be worth going the free agent route. So, yeah, I mean, our defense has just been so bad the whole series so far that I'm willing to go the free agent route. If some blue chip guys are out there, like I know last time we cheaped out on Nick Bosa, but this time around, I'm willing to open the pocketbooks a little bit. I really am. And let's see who's here. Starting off the list is Najee Harris. That's not amazing. Jeffrey Simmons is available. That would be interesting. Despite the age, do I want to go that route? He's going to want around $25 million a year. We're going to come back to that. And yeah, it's just not really looking great out there. It's really not. I mean, Ed Oliver wanted $20 million. He is a year younger and about 6 overall points lower. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go in on Jeffrey Simmons. We're going to do that. If he takes a neutral offer from us, that would be amazing. Will he, though? That's the question. Let's look and see. Okay, we're top of his list. Doesn't mean the Vikings can't swoop in there. But I'd be willing to pay Jeffrey Simmons that kind of money. I really would. Who else we got here? Darius Slay is a no. Trey Hendrickson, that's going to be a no. I mean, unless he wants like a 1-year deal. No, he wants 3 years. You're 30 years old, Trey. No, thank you. Who else? I'm looking like strictly defense right now. We really don't need corners. Could we use a DT? Michael Pierce, perhaps? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. If he wants a 1-year deal, I want to bring in talent. I want to win. I'm tired of going 6-11. I'm tired of looking at the stats and being sad. This has just not been the most fun rebuild so far, and I want to have fun. I want this to be a good time. I want the team to be good. And unfortunately, free agency is just not giving me the ability to do that. Who's available at strong safety? Because I'm tired of who we have there. Jordan Poyer, yuck. No thank you. Man, this is rough. The cornerbacks are good. We don't really need cornerback, to be honest with ya. And honestly, I think I'm okay as far as the offers that we've extended. There's just really no one that's screaming to me as someone we must have. It's really heavy on running backs, wide receivers, and corners, which unfortunately are positions that I am happy with. So let's go ahead. Let's evaluate the offers and hope that we were able to at least bring in the 2 guys that we wanted. So let's see. No one's on our target list. Here are our signings. Where is the DT? Could have sworn we threw an offer in there. Did we not? Let's take a quick look here. Yeah, Michael Pierce, he decided he'd rather go play with the Houston Texans. So, I mean, after 3 6-11 seasons, I guess I can't necessarily blame him, but it does hurt nonetheless. However, we do get Jeffrey Simmons, so that's a win for us. And here's how things are looking right now. So, honestly, if we could get a game-changing wide receiver, maybe we do it. It's just there's not really any out there. I'm okay with Judy. I'm okay with Tony. I mean, if like a Justin Jefferson was out there, I'd definitely consider it. But free agency's been pretty dry, and I am kind of regretting not going after Nick Bosa when I had the chance. Where is Simmons? Oh, they're putting him at the DT spot. Okay. Why is he... When I do generate best lineup, I'm kind of expecting to see my best player there. Okay, that's fine. We'll figure that out later. I guess we'll just move him up the ranks for now. It's interesting. EA doing EA things again. As far as the secondary goes, I'm okay there. We just have not had a good chance to get a good strong safety. I mean, I would love to see a Derwin James out there. It just hasn't happened. And the linebacking core, I suppose it could be worse. It's just how much worse. Oh, and there's Isaiah Simmons. The computer thinks he's going to play outside linebacker in a 4-3. Yeah, Isaiah Simmons and Darius Leonard, same player, right? Okay, that's fine. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and take a look at the draft picks. So we are picking number 8 overall, which is better than normal. And I would know, considering the fact that we've had that 6 and 11 draft pick for the last 3 years. So we got that. And we got Tampa Bay's first, which ended up being number 10 overall. So very nice there. We have 2 second-round picks, a third, and 2 fourths. So a lot of ammunition here in the draft. The only question is, are there good quarterbacks available this time around? Last year was a bit lackluster. We know the Eagles got their guy who, I mean, they went 8 and 9. It's not like he turned the franchise around, but let's see if there are any good quarterbacks in this draft class. Okay, so the good news is our scouts actually came in clutch for us. We are fully scouted here, and we actually have 3 guys projected as round 1 talents. Now, interestingly, Calvin Lockbaum, top 5 projected. He's the only one that's saying round 1 to 2 talent. These 2 guys, Keegan Carrington and Devontae Jones, are saying round 1 talent, which leads me to believe they may be a little bit better than our guy Calvin Lockbaum. I like the name, though. So let's see. He's 23, already a little put off by that. He's a scrambler and ran a 4.66. He's not the fastest quarterback in the draft. He's pretty agile. I don't know about him. I'm thinking no on Calvin, unfortunately. What about Keegan Carrington? That just sounds like a good name. Went to Kansas, 22, so a little bit younger. Not super fast, but he is the strongest. Okay. Not bad, Keegan. He could be someone for us. Who else we got here? Devontae Jones. I like that name as well. He is also 22, App State. Okay, second strongest. Not really an athlete, but that's okay. So we've got some solid options. We've got a decision to make. I don't really like what we've been getting out of Bloom. So let's see. Do we have anyone else here? Sleepers? No. There's no Tom Brady's this year. 3 guys with first-round talents, though, so definitely some decisions to make. I definitely think we do go quarterback with one of our first 2 selections. It's just a matter of who. And of course, as is the case with every offseason, we have some 5th-year option decisions. Could this be Evan Neal? Oh, this is Kayvon. Okay. Yeah, we'll pick up his 5th-year option. He gave us 9 sacks last year. I think he's on the right track. The defense struggled, but I wouldn't say that's his fault. Yeah, we'll pick up his option. That's good. We get him locked down for at least another year. So maybe with Jeffrey Simmons on the other side, we can get something going and make sure that we've got our franchise pass rush locked down. Now here's Evan Neal. Okay. He showed a lot of talent. Yes, he has. Evan Neal is definitely going to have his option picked up. Crazy, we're already to this point in the video, and we have 18 total wins to show for it 3 years later. Amazing. Okay, so here is the free agency recap. There really weren't a whole lot of big names available this time around, but let's just take a quick look. Najee Harris is a Panther. That's interesting. I wonder if McCaffrey's still there. I haven't seen him go anywhere, at least I haven't noticed. Evan McPherson to the Chiefs. Darius Slay will likely wrap up his career with the Bucks. Trey Hendrickson to the Chargers. Fournette back to the Bucks, already in his age 30 season. Ed Oliver headed to the Bears. Elijah Moore to the Jags. Carlton Davis to the Bears. Elijah Mitchell to the Steelers. Naheem Hines to the Chiefs. Michael Pierce to the Texans, and that is honestly already about it. Mac Jones is going to the Steelers, though, so interesting, I suppose. But yeah, that's your free agency recap. Now, we do have some offers here for our guy Chris Bloom. Let's see if he is worth shipping before the draft. Of course, we could always try and make him part of a package to move up if that's something we decide to do. The Lions are offering Jameson Williams. That would be interesting. I just don't necessarily know that we have that need there. I'm not really seeing anything that I love. I think I would rather take my chances, wait until the draft, which is almost upon us, and see if we can't use him as trade bait to move up. Okay, and the 2025 NFL Draft is upon us. So with that being said, before we head into it, let's take a look and see what our needs might be. And starting off with the talent already on the roster, I'm going to say the offensive side of the ball, we're really fine. I don't really see any major needs. Possibly receiver just to get, maybe a developmental guy because we know Tony's contract will be coming up here. Claypool, I don't really think is a long-term answer for us, so receiver could be somewhere we look, maybe tight end. I know Dawson Knox is probably starting to get up there in age, although he has been solid for us. And I like what we have on the offensive line. Maybe we go center. I don't know how old Eric McCoy is at this point, but overall offensively, I think we're okay. Defensively, we're going to need, and not an end, but definitely I would say, do we go DT? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know, but I would like to upgrade at linebacker. I know we went heavy on that position last offseason, last draft. I hate to do that again, so I'm going to say no to that. What I am going to go for is corner because Kendall Fuller, I don't think he'll be back for another year with us. Diggs is going to start getting up there in age. Time really does fly. And we really just don't have a whole lot going on there. So corner, I think, is a position we'll focus on. Pass rush as always. And safety, too. So I think we're going to try and hit the secondary hard this draft. So really, quarterback, secondary, receiver, I would say are the main three. And then pass rush and linebacker. That's kind of our secondary needs. So really a little bit of everything. We've got a good team, 87 overall. No glaring needs on the roster. But it's always worth upgrading where you can. We'll probably be moving down quite a bit. Of course, we will try to trade up for a quarterback if we can, if it makes sense. Let's look at our team salaries, see if any contracts will be up that create any big needs for us. So who is coming due? We know about Kendall Fuller, so we want to hit corner hard. Kadarius Toney, so wide receivers, definitely something I'll want to go with. I don't know if he'll be worth paying. He'll be entering his age 27 season. Center now is a position I will go after for sure because I don't want to pay Eric McCoy beyond this year. And there's my cue. So yeah, corner is definitely a big need for us. Linebacker because Nakobe Dean is going to want paid and he's not worth it. And Wandale just has not been able to get on the field for us, unfortunately. Okay, and here we are, the 2025 NFL Draft. We do want to go quarterback. We pick 8th overall. Let's check the draft board, see who we've got available. The Bengals are picking number 3 overall. Surprising how terrible the Bengals are, even despite the fact that they have Justin Herbert. Crazy. Okay, so we've got Calvin Lockbaum. Probably not going to make it to us unless we trade up. Is he someone we want to trade up for? I'm going to say because of the age right away, it's a no for me. I don't want Calvin Lockbaum. What about these next two guys? Keegan Carrington and Devontae Jones. Let's look at Keegan. A deep, C medium, A short, A under pressure. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. He is the strongest. He runs a 4.86. Not the most agile. It's going to be really close. Let's just read some of his notes. Abandons initial reads in favor of the check down. Beautiful spiral. Gets rid of the ball at the first sign of pressure. Does well to avoid sacks by throwing the ball away. Vast majority of his success comes while in the pocket. 3-quarter and quick throwing motion. Okay. Interesting. Let's see Devontae Jones. He does go to App State. I live in North Carolina. I have a little soft spot for that. He's 22, B deep, A medium, A short, C under pressure. It's interesting. Okay. Let's see. Whether the window is open or closed, he's slinging it. I like that. Beautiful spiral. Could use some improvement at recognizing pressure. Does well to avoid sacks by throwing the ball away. Plays well within and outside of the pocket. Fast, flick of the wrist throwing motion. About the same speed, second strongest. I'm kind of leaning Devontae Jones. I'm not going to lie. And what's the... Okay. His awareness is A. I didn't catch that. Let me check on Keegan Carrington, because that could be the tiebreaker for me. These two are very close. What's Keegan's awareness? C. Okay. Yeah. No, my decision is made. We want Devontae Jones. Devontae Jones is going to be our quarterback. Do we need to trade up for him? I pray that we don't. How are the Jets at quarterback? Do they really need one? Would they be willing to trade with us? Let's check out their roster. Realistically, would they go quarterback right now? Because if so, we might have a guy for them. A young guy who has found a lot of success, winning 6 games a year. Yeah, they've got Zach Wilson. I think they would go quarterback. Our guy's third on the board, though, so I think we hope and pray. I don't want to trade up with a team that really wants a quarterback, so I'm going to let the Jets do it. Please don't go Devontae Jones. Please. Would really love to know who you picked. That's kind of the whole point that EA did this whole draft presentation thing, was to view that. So now we get to go in here and see it the old-fashioned way. Where is he? Please don't be taken. Okay, still on the board. Now Washington's on the clock. Do we think Washington goes quarterback here? Who do they have? Probably nobody. Probably nobody. Let's take a quick look here. I want to look at Washington, the Bengals, and the Saints. Realistically, in that range, who goes quarterback? Commanders. Used to going F for football team. Force a habit. Okay. Justin Dobson. Okay, they've got a day one starter, quarterback of the future. I doubt they go quarterback. The Bengals, have they already kicked Justin Herbert to the curb? No, he's still around. And what about... Who was I just going to look at? I don't know. Oh, the Saints. The Saints is who I was going to look for. Did the Saints have a quarterback? No, they've got Teddy Bridgewater. We're going to try and trade up with the Bengals. We're going to hope and pray here that Washington is smart and doesn't pick a quarterback, and we're going to try and trade up with the Bengals. First, we had to view our draft board because EA is terrible and did not show us what we wanted to see. Let's take a look here. Okay, Devontae is still on the board. And you know what? Keegan probably gets taken first, so might be a risk we don't have to take, but we're going to do it anyways. And you know what else? The Bengals don't need a quarterback, so we can hold on to ours. Bloom, I think. Chris Bloom. Boring name. And we can get a pretty good return for him. Teams were willing to give us quite a bit, so that's a win-win for us. We were able to develop him. He had some mild success, but ultimately, we're not here for Jared Goff. We want to win, and win a lot. And we're not going to do that with his okay numbers. So the number 3 overall pick, what am I doing here? I want to trade with them. I think it just lagged on me. And yeah, I'm not going to trade for Joe Mixon. I just simply don't know how else to trade up. I don't know that EA lets you do that, so let's trade here. Moving up a handful of spots, will the number 8 overall pick and a 3rd pick get it done for us? Yes, it will. We are on the clock. Number 3 overall, let's go get our guy. As soon as we get out of the Bengals roster. All right, and here he is, Devontae Jones, out of App State, 6'3", 234 pounds, 22 years old. Welcome to New York, and he has hidden dev. Let's go. 93 throw power, solid. Very solid. Not the fastest, but we'll take it. Wearing number 13, lucky number. I think we got our guy. I really truly believe that, and I think that the trajectory of this franchise has finally been turned around. And just like that, we are right back on the clock here, number 10 overall. Let's take a look, see who's available. Okay, so receiver definitely is going to be a need for us heading into the season. There is one guy projected straight up round one. That's Pat Sharp. B catching traffic, C catching. I don't love that. His deep route running is A to C, and he does have B release. He's a scheme fit for us. He's 21 years old. We are listed as a fit for him. And let's see his numbers. Okay, so he is incredibly fast. 4.33, third best in the class. His 3-cone and his 20-yard shuttle are elite. Yeah, I mean, I would say this is worth it for us. And he does have hidden dev and 97 speed. Okay. Yeah, that's a great pick for us. I am thrilled with that. Definitely worthy of the top 10 selection. Okay, so round 2, pick 8. I'm just looking here, top of our board. I'm not necessarily loving who we have available. I mean, I guess let's take a look at Quandre Holmes. Safety, he's 23. He has decent numbers, but I mean, his athletics just don't really pop out to me. I'm not really loving anyone in this spot, so I think we're going to go ahead and trade back. I've been loving having multiple firsts, and with this early second round pick, I think we should be able to get a really nice return for this. Let's take a look at our offers, just to see what teams are willing to provide for round 2, pick 8. Let's see here. Bengals willing to give a first. Can we get more than that? Let's see. Actually, not a whole lot. There's the Titans with a first and a fourth. That's interesting. Is that the best offer we're going to get? It's looking like it. Yes. Okay, a few more here because every team in the league, by EA's logic, would like to trade up with us. Dallas, not quite as good. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, we'll take Tennessee's offer. They're projected to pick 32nd. However, when we make these deals, teams do not always do as well as EA thinks because EA is not very smart. So, with that being said, we are trading back, and we do have another second round pick because we are killing it with the trades. So let's see who we have available here. And honestly, as I'm saying that, I realize this is just a couple spots later. There was no one worth taking in the second round, in my opinion, based on who we saw. So we're going to trade back again. I mean, at this point, are we looking at 3 first-round picks next year? It's a possibility. There's Denver with a first. We're just going to go ahead and take that. Yeah, so we'll have 3 first-round picks in 2026. That's crazy to think about. We don't pick again until the 4th. Let's skip ahead and see who's available. Okay, so round 4, pick 3. We did kind of want to beef up the interior of the O-line a little bit, if I recall correctly. I'm looking at our guard options here. Left guard is incredibly weak. Landon Kendricks is your best bet, and he's not looking too good. What about center? Okay, a couple decent options. Let's look at Alexander O'Neal. He's projected rounds 3 to 4, so he could be a nice grab here. He is 22. He's strong, okay, and agile. Decently fast by center standards. That might be a decent pick for us. Who else we got here? What about right guard? Cody Witt. Okay, couple day 3 guys. There's 3. Okay, he has A, pass blocking. What does Alexander O'Neal have? His pass blocking is B to D. Oof. We got a franchise quarterback in place. That could be something. He's 21? Okay. He's not the strongest, but everything else matches up pretty well. I mean, 30 reps on the bench, 31 reps, excuse me, is not the worst in the world. His pass blocking is A's across the board. What about his run block? His run block itself is a B, finesse is B to D, and power is a C. Let me just go back here and see. Let me just weigh What was his awareness? I do want to see that. Sorry. Let's just check that out here. Will it tell me his awareness? I'm hoping that it will. Awareness is A to C. Okay, so we don't necessarily know yet. What about Alexander O'Neal? And it says day 3, so... Oh, we have multiple 4th round picks. Okay, let's just take both guys. Why not? We'll go Alexander O'Neal, and then the guard should be available as well. So we'll take O'Neal here. Normal dev, okay. Not bad, but we can always use the depth on the O-line. Especially new quarterback in place. We really want the offense to thrive. I'm tired of having a good but not great offense. I'm hoping that these additions are going to do it for us. Hopefully a new receiver can give us some new life. Sadly, we haven't focused on the defense probably as much as I would have liked to. We're just not having the right guys fall to us. Oh, and I think our guy got taken. Yeah, damn, okay. Yeah, he's gone. That is a bummer for sure. Okay. I mean, I didn't really have anyone else that I wanted to take at this spot, so I suppose trade back again? Why not? Okay, so our friends in Green Bay, the Packers, they are willing to give us a 3rd in next year's draft. We're going to take it. And at this point, it's just late round picks. I didn't really have anyone as I was going through the board that I was super interested in. Let's just, for the sake of quickness, skip to the end of the draft here. See what we're working with. Okay, so getting into our draft recap, Devontae Jones he is a 76 overall. Okay, very nice. 81 awareness coming out of the gate as a 22-year-old rookie. Yeah, he's going to be good for us right away. Pat Sharp, we knew about the 97 speed. He is a 75 overall stud. Okay. Alexander O'Neal, unfortunately, is a 64. Don't love that in the 3rd round. Probably looking at a bust there. The CPU, who did they take? They go running back Leroy Stark, 68 overall. Okay, he's a power back, so I guess a compliment to Cam Akers. They also take a tight end and another wide receiver with 90 speed, who is probably going to be a cut candidate. But all being said, our main goal for this draft was to come out of it with a franchise quarterback, and we did that. Okay, and here is your post-draft roster. So immediately, Devontae Jones is our starter. We will look to trade Chris Bloom. We do have Pat Sharp kind of buried down here on the depth chart, but that will make one of these 3 guys expendable, either Claypool, Tony, or Judy, depending on whose contract is going to be up first. If I recall correctly, it might be Tony, and I believe we should be able to get a decent return for him. Defensively, I don't think we got any new starters through the draft. We did not. So, yeah, we may actually look to make a rare trade for a player, get ourselves a defensive end. Unless Chris Bloom can attract us one, that would be something. Maybe we go the manual route, package one ourselves, come up with a little something, because I could definitely go with a new defensive end. What is Cooper got going on? He's 22, normal dev. Yeah, we're not interested long term. He's also a DT. Is that our 97 strength guy? I think it might be. Yeah, we just really have no depth on the defensive line at all. So yeah, we're definitely going to want to make a move there. But outside of that, I would say strong safety is still in need. There just really weren't any good ones in the draft. So we've got a lot of draft capital. Maybe this is the time where we use it to trade for some players, spice things up a little bit. Anyways, here are the offers that we have for Chris Bloom. I love Jameson Williams. We just really don't need a receiver at all at this point. The Dolphins are lowballing us. The Colts, I'm not interested in Kenny Moore at that age. And definitely not interested in, I mean, he's got to be like 30, 31, 32 at this point, Mike Evans. So we actually, I think, are going to go the manual route. Let's take a look and see. I believe I've got that 30-plus bonus where you get a discount on players 30 or older. We've got a young enough roster. Maybe we get ourselves like an Aaron Donald. Maybe Myles Garrett is 30 at this point. Let's see who's out there. And you know what? I'm so stupid. We've got Kayvon, and we've got Jeffrey Simmons. I just completely overlooked him because the depth on this team is so shallow that it is wanting to move him to outside linebacker. So who do we have at outside linebacker? Let's answer that. We have nobody at the right outside linebacker spot. Let's take a look and see around the league who is available in that position. So Micah Parsons, there's no way we're going to be able to get him. Who is a scheme fit for us? Odafe Owe. And he is what's his archetype? He's a power rusher. So we want a power rusher at that position. Who would fit that mold for us? Is there anyone here on the left side that we could move over? TJ Watt is 30. That would be spicy. Joey Bosa is 30. Joey Bosa might be a little bit cheaper. Let's see. He's a 92 overall power rusher. Do the Chargers need a quarterback, though? Because if they do, that could make things fairly easy for us. Yeah, I would say they could use one. I don't think they're going to want to mess with Josh Jeffries, so let's see if they'll take this. Chris Bloom and a first for Joey Bosa. How would they feel about that? Let's just see here. We're going to give them one of the later ones. How do they feel about that? They're close. They are close. And you know what? Let's give them ours, because I know our first round pick is the one projected number 7 overall. I don't think we're going to be picking number 7 overall. Let's see if this gets it done. It does. Okay, so Joey Bosa is a New York Giant, just like that. And Chris Bloom is headed to the AFC. Okay, so here is your new look defense. We do have Joey Bosa there now, so let me just take a quick look at his card. So not a perfect scheme fit, but I mean, 92 power rusher. It's interesting. I guess I don't know enough about NFL defenses. I would think you would want more of a pass coverage guy back there. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I know that I'm not the brightest with this stuff. I just kind of go with those little purple puzzle pieces. But with that being said, let's see if we can't get ourselves a new strong safety. Just really beef things up here on this side of the ball. And I did look, it is Tony. He's the one whose contract is going to be up, so let's see if we can use him as a trade piece to get ourselves a new safety. Okay, so he's not quite 30, but Budda Baker would be so much fun on this defense. I'm thinking Kadarius Toney and Julian Love. It immediately gives them a replacement. They could use some help at receiver. Will this get it done for us? Not quite. It's close, though, so we shouldn't have to give up one of our firsts. Let's see if will a third-round pick do it. How do we feel about a third? Okay, not quite. What if we upgrade the third? Would that get the ball rolling for us for Budda Baker? It should. Not quite. Okay. We're going to play it like that. What about a future second? Not this year's second, because we know we like to trade back, so I'd like to hold on to that if possible. Yes, okay. A little bit of a haul for the Cardinals, but it does get us Budda Baker, the second best strong safety in the league, and immediately, look what we've added to this defense. I mean, in one offseason, Jeffrey Simmons, Joey Bosa, and Budda Baker, that's good for us. We will take that. Okay, so here is your new look team. I'm actually promoting Pat Sharp. He is going to be our wide receiver 2, opposite Jerry Jeudy. Maybe a little early, but with that speed, I think it'll be worth it. Did he have hidden dev? I believe that he did. So he should, yes. So he should develop quickly for us. He's 21 years old. I think he's going to be a stud. Much rather have him on a regular basis than Chase Claypool. Despite Claypool's overall rating, I mean, we like to have him for the depth, but Sharp is just too exciting for us. Now let's look at the defense, and things look a whole lot better over here. So you've got, I mean, the defensive line is, I know I've asked this a million times. Cooper, is he our 97 strength guy? I got to remember these things. Yes, okay. So, not the highest rating, but he is definitely strong. I might, honestly, I know we're probably sick of the trades at this point, but while we're at it, could a second-round pick get us a new middle linebacker? I like Grant. Grant is, what now, a second-year player? Yes. Oh, yeah. Second-year player. He is already 24, but I think he'll develop for us nicely to at least starting caliber level. I think Nakobe Dean is a liability for us at this point. 77's not the worst overall in the world, but I think we can do better there. So let's see if we can. Okay, so I'm looking at Devondre Campbell at this point. 32 years old, down to an 84 overall, but would be a decent upgrade for us. N'Kobe Dean in a fourth. I'm thinking this should get it done for us. It does. So we get the immediate upgrade because honestly, I feel we can contend. I really do. And I'd rather have someone like Devondre Campbell, a nice veteran presence, who is going to help see that that happens. Okay, and here we are yet again. Regular season, week 1, setting our season goal, playoffs yet again, but this time, we gotta make it. I mean, there's no way. The team that we've put together, the absolute studs that we've added through free agency, the draft, we've got a brand new franchise quarterback. There are good vibes around this team. I truly believe in this team, and I really think this is a playoff squad. 86 overall. Let's get to the midseason point and pray that we're not disappointed. Okay, so midseason point is here, and we are 5-3, finally seeing some success. I honestly was scared it'd be the other way around. We'd be sitting at 3-5 like we have the entire series. And look at that, coming off a 42-14 win against the Vikings. Let's just take a quick look here at the stats. Looks like it's been a successful season so far. We are sitting here with the number 3 offense in the NFL. Let's go. How's the new and improved defense? Still 27th, man. How? Genuinely, I don't get it. The playbook should be working for us. I don't know. I don't understand. If you have suggestions, please let me know in the comments. We will wait to look at the schedule, but as of right now, we're happy with this. We do have a weekly award to view. That's the first time we've seen that, the entire video, so let's look at that. Okay, Devontae Jones throws 5 touchdown passes. Okay, so we do have our quarterback of the future. That is good. That's very good. Unfortunately, the Dallas Cowboys are 8-0, so sadly, I don't think a division title is in the cards for us, but I think the playoffs are realistic. We do have a tight race with the Commanders going on right now. Let's sim to the playoffs. Let's see. Just hope that we make it. Also, with how much the defense has been underperforming, we're doing one final playbook change. The Cowboys are so overpowered in this game. Let's run their playbook, see if it works for us. Is there any defense that would be a better fit for us than what we're running right now? I want to stick to a 4-3, but is there any type of 4-3? No. 4-3, cover 3, we're sticking with that. Okay, so the playoffs are here. We did make it. We're 10-7, up to an 88 overall team. Could not win the division. The Cowboys dominated, going 15-2. You're probably looking at your Super Bowl champions, as much as I hate to say it. Let's look at the schedule here, see how the season played out. It looks like the first half and the second half were fairly similar, good in both stretches, just not dominant. However, we are not going to be complaining about the playoffs. 4 years into this, we're going to go for 5. But 4 years in, we start off the season with a 56-14 victory. Amazing. We lose a close one, lose another close one. We do get beat pretty handily by the Commanders. Cowboys beat us by 12. The Lions get us by a touchdown. The Chargers get us by 6. And the Cowboys did destroy us with 2 weeks left in the season. So that's not ideal. I don't love to see that. However, I would call the season a big success. When have we put up 50 points in a game at all? We've got to be looking pretty good. Let's look at the stats. Let's see if the playbook change helped our defense at all, because that's what I'm really looking for here. Just a decent defense heading into the playoffs, not 28th in the league with the amount of talent we have. Offense finished 4th, so a very, very good offense. How did the defense do? 27th. Ugh. Okay. So still somehow a work in progress, but Devontae Jones, 5,000 yards almost, 38 touchdowns, 13 picks. I think we've got our guy, passer rating of 110, yes sir. Rushing, Cam Akers dominates, 1,500 yards on the ground, very nice season for Cam. In the receiving game, Wandale led the team. And the CPU screwed me again, putting Sharp in a backup role when I clearly had him as the wide receiver 2. I am annoyed, to say the least, but I guess happy for Wandale. How did our tackles do? Hopefully, oh wow. So, big progression from the tackles. Of course, a new quarterback may have helped that. No one letting up double-digit sacks. Defensively, Kendall Fuller led the team in tackles. You don't see a cornerback doing that every day. As far as sacks go, pretty disappointing. Colin Coleman leads the team with 9.5. Simmons gets 8. Bosa picks up 6.5. And Kayvon is just not it for some reason. I don't understand. Interceptions, Bobby Grant, second-year player, leads the team with 4. Our leading tackler picks up 3 interceptions. Trade acquisitions, Devondre Campbell and Budda Baker chip in a couple. But overall, you'd like to see a lot more from the secondary, just not getting the turnovers we'd like to see. But with all of that being said, we have finally arrived here at the playoffs, the first of many. We've got a message here. We are going up against the San Francisco 49ers, a very good team. I believe 84 overall is what I saw. So let's see here. Coach, you're heading into your first playoff game. Playoff success often makes or breaks a career. How important is your first playoff win? We are not going to guarantee a win because at this point the Brian Dable era has been 6-11 after 6-11, so we're going to play it cool. Every game is important. Beat the 49ers for a staff point reward. Okay. Now, we've made it this far. The Niners are the NFC West champions. Let's upgrade our players here quickly, just to get as much of a boost heading into this matchup as we possibly can. We're just going to auto-upgrade. Get our guys in position here. We'll do our weekly training. Let's do that here really quickly. Okay, so Trey Lance is still the quarterback. He is not developed at all. 81 overall. Don't love to see that. Ooh, we get Saquon. That is interesting. I completely forgot we traded him. Ooh, this is interesting. I usually go defend deep pass, but do we want to shut down Saquon? I'm going to say no, because we forced so few interceptions as a defense. We really need to focus on that. I don't want to go run inside. I want to go blitz counter. Because, they no longer have Bosa, that's right. But anyways, we still want to keep Devontae on his feet as much as we possibly can. He is up to an 81, should hopefully get a nice boost. I'm hoping he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Usually putting up 5,000 yards will do that. But this is going to put us in as good of a position as possible to beat the Niners and move on to the divisional round. And now that we're here, I'm going to upgrade my players one last time. We're going to sim ahead to the divisional, and let's hope for a victory. Okay, look at this. We win 42-24. We beat the Niners with ease, putting up 40 points in a playoff game on the road. You definitely cannot complain about that. Let's look at the schedule here. Let's take a look at the stats and see how that game went down. Did I just see Jadeveon Clowney had 30 sacks? Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. No way. Let me look at this here. Okay, look at that. Yeah, sack leaders. How does Jadeveon Clowney get 30? Bro, that is insanity. Are you kidding me? Wow. I mean, of all players, I know you see crazy sack numbers in Madden, but usually it's Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, Khalil Mack. But man, Clowney has 30 sacks, bro. And Bradley Chubb has 17. So, interesting. Very interesting. Anyways, let's get into the schedule here. See how this Niners victory came to be. We'll just run through it quickly because we are eager to move on to our divisional round matchup against the Lions. Let's see here. Where are we? There we are. 42-24. We put up very close in total offense. 442 to 443. In his first career playoff game, Devontae Jones, 6 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Oh my goodness. Trey Lance, to his credit, not a bad game. 350 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. How did Saquon do? Not as good as Cam Akers, apparently. Debo got a rushing touchdown, and we completely shut down Saquon. Hate to see it. Love Saquon, but happy with the victory. Debo has a big game. So does Jerry Jeudy. Wandale has a big game, and so does Claypool. Corey Davis is a Niner. He scores. Dawson Knox scores for us. Very interesting. Defensively, Budda Baker leads the team in tackles. Anyone get sacks on Trey Lance? Doesn't look like it, no. Who picked him off, though? I do want to know that. It was Budda Baker. So, big game for Budda, and we are moving on. And now it's the Detroit Lions. Let's hop into our weekly strategy here. I am curious, who do they have? How are they out here getting, not, no, it wouldn't be a bye because of the new format. They've got Daniel. Oh, wow. Talk about potential revenge game. Danny Dimes himself is the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. Very interesting. Okay. Wow, I did not expect to see that. I completely forgot about Daniel Jones. It's been so long. I mean, did we even keep him past year one? I don't remember at this point. I genuinely don't. I know he was not good. But anyways, huge matchup here. Huge matchup. Have the Lions won a playoff game this entire series? I don't know. So could Daniel Jones be the savior in Detroit? Oh, actually, you know what? I'm so stupid. They would have had to have won a playoff game because they would have won last week. So disregard what I just said. And let's move on here. Let's find out, can we move on to the conference championship? And obviously the freaking Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to assume. We win 37-24, and we do move on to Dallas. So we get Saquon, Daniel Jones, and the hated Dallas Cowboys in one postseason. Let's look at the stats here. Over in the conference championship, you've got probably Joe Burrow still with the Chargers going up against Lamar and the Ravens. That should be a good game. I clicked the wrong button. Now we're going to go into the schedule and actually see what we're looking for, which is our victory against the Lions. So let's get into that. If the playoff schedule would be so kind. Here are your divisional round games. How did the Cowboys do? They won a thriller, 45-42. Great game there. Our game was good too, just not as high scoring. And we do outgain them in total yardage. Let's see here. Devontae Jones has a good game, I would say. How does Daniel Jones throw 81 passing yards? That's insane, bro. 81 yards, that's pathetic. Okay, probably because Kareem Hunt was going off on the ground and DeAndre Swift got a good number of carries. Cam Akers puts up 79. In the receiving game, not a whole lot going on. Judy and Dawson Knox both score. Defensively, Joey Bosa is the leading tackler. Looks like he also gets a sack. Yes, he does. I don't believe we got any interceptions. No, we did not. But we are moving on to Dallas. Okay, and it all comes down to this. New York and Dallas, NFC East, massive rivalry for the Super Bowl. Let's get into that weekly strategy. Who are we going up against? I'm going to assume Dak, Zeke, Micah Parsons. Did they keep the core intact? Yes, Dak is here. What about Zeke? Yes, sir. So Dak and Zeke. We got to get past them. Defensively, Micah Parsons and who else? We do have Trevon Diggs. So going up against his former team, they destroyed us in the regular season. They've got Grant Delpit. Must have picked him up from the Browns. We're going to go blitz counter. We can't have Micah Parsons wrecking our game. And here we go. Conference championship. Let's find out. And we won. We are headed to the conference championship game. 41-38. Let's go. Who says QB is in need? Look at that draft central. No freaking way, bro. Oh my goodness. Let's get into it. How did this happen? How did we, the underdog New York Giants, come in on the road and take down the juggernaut Dallas Cowboys? Here we go. 41-38. Let's look at the stats. 464 yards of total offense. To their credit, 459. Crazy. Devontae is second. Didn't have a great game, but we do force Dak into throwing 2 interceptions. Devontae does struggle against a great defense. I mean, putting up that many points, we are going to take that. Rushing the ball, Cam Akers puts the team on its back, 155 yards and a score. Zeke scores twice, and the rookie Leroy Stark comes in. Wow, our running backs, we ran the ball almost 40 times. That is crazy. In the receiving game, Jalen Tolbert has a big game. So do Schultz and Michael Gallup. Dawson Knox gets the lone receiving score. Heading over to the defensive side, Devondre Campbell with 10 tackles. Bobby Grant with 10 as well. Did we sack Dak? Let's see. Kayvon gets 1. And Devondre and Jeffrey Simmons split another. So we do get a little bit of pressure. As for the interceptions, Devondre gets one, and so does Bobby Grant. Okay. And that will do it for the playoffs leading up to the Super Bowl, where we get Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens. So another great game on our hands. Let's go ahead and get to Super Bowl week, see what we're working with. And here we are, Lamar Jackson, the 12-5 Baltimore Ravens. We've got a Super Bowl media day. Let's go ahead and read that here. So the Ravens, they are coming in with 87s across the board, a very solid roster. The Ravens always do so well in Sims, so I definitely am scared. I definitely am a little bit afraid. What would a win mean to you? We're going to say just the beginning, because we're definitely going to try and run it back if we win. Even if we don't win, we're going to try and go one more year, put all chips on the table. Let's get into our weekly strategy. I want to take a look at the view the yearly awards. Did we win Offensive Rookie of the Year? I do want to see that. Okay. That's not quite what I'm looking for. I want the nice little thing at the end of the year. So, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Wow, Marvin Farr wins it. That's stupid. Leroy Stark comes in third. That's interesting. Okay, but that's dumb. That's really dumb. So we're going to avenge that with a Super Bowl victory. I'm speaking it into existence. Let's check our weekly strategy. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. What are we working with here? So J.K. Dobbins is still a Raven. You usually see him depart in free agency by now. I always see him available. I'm not going to contain that QB scramble. I'm going to contain the deep pass. That's worked for us so far. We're going to stick with it. Who do they have defensively? Oh, Dexter Lawrence. That's right. Okay. So, former teammate of ours. They still have Marlon Humphrey. We're going to go blitz counter. Can't have our former teammate coming in and wrecking our game plan. And it's time for the Super Bowl. Okay, we did one last upgrade of our players. The Super Bowl is here. Who's it going to be? The Giants and the Ravens. Massive matchup, and we lose. We lose 21-17. Here's your season recap. Hurts. Definitely hurts. Looks like it was within reach. Jamel Dean is the Super Bowl MVP. Oh, so close. 4 points away from glory. Let's look at the stats. And I guess that's why Marvin Farr wins Rookie of the Year. I mean, led the league in passing yards. I guess I can't complain. Just sucks. Our guy had a great year. His was just even better. But let's look at the schedule and see where we went wrong. I mean, I don't even know if you could say went wrong because, I mean, a 4-point loss in the Super Bowl is good. But let's see here. So we completely outgained them in total yardage. They had 122 rushing yards. Big passing day. We beat them in first downs. 2 turnovers, I'm going to assume, is the difference. So thanks, defense. We did better in the red zone. We beat them in time of possession. Hurts. Devontae Jones puts up 358 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Lamar does not throw a touchdown. He does get 2 rushing scores, so that was probably the difference. I mean, if he didn't beat us with his legs, he would have beat us through the air. That's what I'm going to tell myself at least. Jerry Jeudy with a big Super Bowl, 11 catches, 154 yards. Claypool scores. Defensively, our leading tackler was, Colin Coleman with 5. Did we get any sacks? Kayvon got 1. I don't think we picked off Lamar. No, Jamel Dean picked us off, which is probably how he won his MVP award. Probably came in clutch time. I mean, was this a comeback win? Yeah, they scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. We had them. It was a 10-point halftime lead. They just came back. It's unfortunate, but we've got 1 season left to go. Okay, so here we are in the off-season. Let's check out the 2025 retirements. We shouldn't have any of our players on this list. At least I hope not. That would definitely hurt my feelings. Chandler Jones retires as a Viking. Tyron Smith retires from the Cowboys. The Bucks have a few retirements. Okay. We'll just check the AFC quickly, see if anyone big left. Travis Kelce and Stephon Gilmore. Okay. And we do have players to re-sign. I have completely forgotten, with all of the postseason drama, who is on the list, how much money we might have to work with. I'm hoping we're in good shape here because I want one more chance at this. We're going to be sitting with $109 million. That probably means we've got some good guys up. Yeah. Okay. The good news is the only really elite pieces are two that like us. So Joey Bosa, let's see what he wants. He's going to take us down to around $92 million. Okay. I mean, he does like us. I think he'll take a neutral offer. No, he's going to test out free agency. So we're going to test out the franchise tag. That's what we're going to do. Kendall Fuller, we're going to play it safe here. He's been cordial the last couple of years, but we're going to give him a player-friendly deal. Okay, so he's locked down. He's played well for us. Anyone else worth re-signing at this point? Eric McCoy, he has no interest in us, but we don't really have a backup plan at center. So we're going to give him a player-friendly deal. Okay, screw you too, Eric. That's fine. Hopefully we can bring him back. Mike Hughes likes us, so just to keep the secondary intact, let's give him a neutral offer. Okay, good. He is sticking around. The main point here is just to keep our guys intact. Wandale can actually test out free agency because we've got depth there. I don't mind that. There's no one else here that's going to make a difference for us. So, Joey, here is the franchise tag for you, good sir. And we're going to enter free agency with $60 million in cap space and some draft picks, which I'm not opposed to trading for win-now players. So I think we've got a fighting chance here at a Super Bowl again. Let's find out. So heading into free agency, we have an immediate need at center. And I would say offensively, we're probably okay. I mean, it's been a top 5 offense. We've put up plenty of points. I think we're okay there. Now defensively, what do we need? I mean, do we upgrade from Kayvon at this point? Do we try and trade him and get a truly elite talent? Coleman has progressed nicely. It's just he's not quite playing up to that overall. Do we need a new free safety? Do we need linebackers? What's the answer here? It's an 88 overall defense, actually 89. Why are we struggling? I mean, I guess 21 points in the Super Bowl is not the worst thing. But still, let's see who's out there. Okay, so here's what we're working with. Deebo Samuel is a free agent. Would be a lot of fun. He just doesn't like us at all, and I don't know that he would make that big of a difference. Wyatt Teller, though. I like my young guards, but if we can bring in a guy with that much talent, really solidify this offense, give us a truly elite piece, I'm going to do it. And the Cowboys are top of his list. That's going to incentivize me even more. It might be seen as a waste of money. Is that a waste? Yeah. Yeah, that's a waste of money. I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to see who else is out there. But as of right now, Wyatt Teller is going to be a no for me. And outside of that, there's really not a whole lot of talent here in free agency. I did fear that. Sauce Gardner, what would Sauce Gardner like? I mean, our defense has been such a joke. If we give him... I mean, his cap hit would be low. He's superstar. So, let's see here. Just to bolster our secondary a little bit, we're not quite top of his list. But I'd like to bring him in here. So, let's go ahead. Very player-friendly. We'll even bump it up a bit. I mean, that's not a crazy cap hit for a guy of his caliber and that age, especially when we're trying to win it all this season. Let's see if that puts us top of the list for Sauce. Ugh, not quite. Kyle Hamilton's available. We just don't need a strong safety anymore. Yikes. Yeah, I'm just not quite loving what we have here. You know what? Forget Sauce. Andrew Booth is here. Sure, he's not as good, but he actually likes us, and we don't have to break the bank for him. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and extend an offer to Andrew Booth. We'll still do a player friendly, just to be fair. And let's see here. If we go all in for Wyatt, how much money does that leave us to play with for other players? Leaves us with around $30 million. I don't really care about the future, so let's do it. Let's see if this can get Wyatt Teller on the squad. And really, I am more incentivized to do that because I really don't want him going to Dallas. That is the last thing that I want. They're still top of his list, and I hate that. Okay. Very player friendly. We'll even give you an extra year. We're going to bump up the salary a ton. We're going to make you the highest paid... Oh, God. Okay, no, we're not going to do that. That's going to leave us with... How does that work? $13 million in cap? I don't know. You know what? Wyatt, you can go to Dallas, and we're going to beat you. That's what's going to happen, because you suck. Not really, but... Did we get Andrew Booth? We did. We had some competition, but Andrew Booth is a giant. Now let's make some trades. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so Aaron Donald is 35 years old at this point. The Rams, I don't believe they've been in contention lately. I would imagine he'd like to go out on top. So in a straight-up deal, a team, their top need is quarterback. They've got to be rebuilding. They don't have a quarterback, wide receiver, left tackle. This move might make sense for them. Would they take this straight up? Not quite. What if we were to throw in Kayvon and a first? Would that do it for the Rams? I mean, the guy's 35. I know he's your greatest franchise player. Okay, it's close. What about a first and a 6? Can we get Aaron Donald with that? Oh my gosh. Seriously, it was that close, and now it moves an inch closer. Okay, what about a 5th? Is that going to do it for Aaron Donald? Honestly, if this wasn't the last year of the rebuild, I would be out because I'm getting annoyed. But I really do want Aaron Donald here. Bro, it is like a centimeter away. I am so irked right now. This has got to do it. This has got to do it. Yes, okay, Aaron Donald is a New York Giant. That should help our defense. We're going to move him over to left end because that's the position that Kayvon was playing. And that should hopefully help our defense not be as god-awful. Okay, so Miles Jack has hit his age 30 season, and what it takes to get him from the Steelers is Devondre Campbell and a first. A steep price to pay, but our linebackers were a liability last year, so we're happy with this acquisition. Okay, and finally, maybe not finally, but feels like finally, we're hitting up the Indianapolis Colts. Another team rebuilding. They need a quarterback. DeForest Buckner's 32. A future first will get it done. Okay, now let's head back out to free agency. We do still need a starting center, so Cole Strange is someone who I feel we could probably move into that position. We've got money now, so let's just go ahead and spend it. It's the last year of the rebuild, if I haven't mentioned that already. So we are essentially going all in. I don't care if we're overpaying at this point. We're just going to go ahead and do it. Who are the best players available? I just want to load this team up with talent at this point. Okay, not the punter. Taylor Moton. Yeah, sure. We could use the offensive line depth. Let's go ahead and do it. Player-friendly offer. We're just going all in, guys. I mean, we've got like 43 players on the roster at this point, so might as well fill it out with good players. John Mechie, maybe. Jaquan Brisker's got offers. Yeah, sure, we'll go in on Jaquan. Why not? We'll go very player-friendly because I know he's got quite a few teams interested in him. Let's see who else we got here. Could we use another receiver? Do we go in on John Mechie? I say we do. I say we do. Why the heck not? Yeah, John Mechie, let's see if we can get you into New York. And just in case you haven't noticed already, all realism is out the window at this point. We are strictly in Super Bowl mode. I mean, I guess you do see teams do things like this every so often, just on a smaller scale. Okay. Looks like we got the majority of our targets. Who's still out there? A bunch of kickers. KJ Hamler. Another corner. No, I think, well, yeah, you know what? We could always use the depth. That's what I always say. Let's go ahead and do it. Teron Johnson. Don't know how I've never heard of him. I just haven't. I mean, we're his only offer. Yeah, we got him. Okay. Free agency's over. Let's see how many draft picks we have left. So yeah, this is what we're working with. We're in full-on LA Rams mode here. We don't have a first-round pick for the next few years. I do want to see, though, if we can get ourselves a starting center. Who is out there at the center position? Because right now, a 68 overall Alexander O'Neal's just simply not going to cut it. David Andrews, I would have to imagine, should be pretty cheap. He does have star dev. He's 86 overall. Would be a plug-and-play for us. Genuinely am confused how quarterback is still seen as a need for this team. Would that do it? It's close. A third, a fourth, and a future second? That should be more than good enough, right? Yes. Okay. We got ourselves a center. And now we have... How many players on the roster? How much depth do we still have to fill out? We have... Waiting. Okay, it's not going to tell me. I got to go into the trade center. Because I do want to see how many players are just on the roster. Most of these are holes that we can just fill through free agency once the draft has passed. We've got 45 guys, $19 million in cap. We're fine. I'm just going to skip right through the draft. I don't care about it. Let's get into the preseason. All right, so here we are, week 1 again. You already know the goal is going to be Super Bowl, but let's take one final look at this New York Giants roster. It's a 90 overall team. 90 overall, but again, you never know when you're sharing in a division with the Dallas Cowboys. Can we dominate and get ourselves back to the Super Bowl? Here's your offense before we make any upgrades, which we will. David Andrews is going to step right in, be a good center for us. Jones is an 81 overall. Can he carry this team? Sharp should be starting for us. That's annoying. Yeah, he's wide receiver 1. He can handle it. Defensively, how are you going to run on this team? DeForest Buckner, Coleman, Aaron Donald, and Jeffrey Simmons. That pass rush is fierce. The linebacking core is amazing. The secondary is very, very good. I hope and pray that this is a Super Bowl team. I really believe it is. But let's get to the midseason point and see how we're looking. Okay, so at the midseason point, we are 7-0, undefeated, incredible. The Cowboys are 4-3. That's who we've got our eyes on. The Commanders, they gave us trouble last year. They're 1-5. Let's look here at the stats just to see how we're doing. Kayvon's actually leading the league in sacks. I noticed that with 10, so that is annoying for sure. We've got the number 5 offense. What about the defense? Please don't be in the 20s. The number 4. Okay. So we'll take a deeper look at the stats once the season ends. We'll look at the schedule as well. But as of right now, we're in the driver's seat. Let's just do a quick upgrade on our players. Get them into as good of a position as they possibly can be. Heading into this half-season stretch, Pat Sharp up to an 80 overall, it appears. So hopefully he's a part of our success. We did give him that promotion to be our wide receiver 1. That appears to be paying off. So let's go ahead and get to the playoffs here. Okay, so we continue that dominant stretch. We go 15-2 on the season. Number 1 seed in the NFC. Now let's take a deeper look at those stats. First, let's look at the schedule. I'm curious, who did we lose to? I'm going to guess that one of those 2 losses came against the Cowboys, but I could be wrong. Let's just take a quick look here at that team's schedule. Regular season, let's go. Okay, so there's that perfect stretch. Yes, a close one to the Cowboys, and we lose by 10 to the Commanders. But after that, we end the year on a dominant stretch. We've got how many 40-point games? A lot. No 50-pointers, but we did get a 48-3 victory in week 1. Let's look at the stats. Okay, and here are your year-end stats. We end the year with the number 8 offense in the NFL and the number 2 defense. That was the difference for us. The defense finally comes together with all those acquisitions. Devontae Jones has an amazing year. 4,600 yards, 43 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions, passer rating of 120. Very nice. Cam Akers dominates. 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns, 11 touchdowns for Leroy Stark. The second year, nice complimentary piece. Pat Sharp leads the team in receiving yards, 1,110. Jerry Jeudy also tops 1,000, 10 touchdowns for Dawson Knox. Blocking, how did we do as far as sacks allowed goes? I'm going to assume pretty well. Yes, Andrew Thomas with 10 is the leader. Miles Jack led the team with tackles and with 116. Let's look at the sacks here. Aaron Donald, it appears, had 17. It just dominated. 11 for DeForest Buckner, 9 for Joey Bosa, 4.5 for Jeffrey Simmons. When it comes to interceptions, our leader was Trevon Diggs with 7, 4 for Budda Baker, 3 for Miles Jack, and 3 for Kendall Fuller, not to mention 2 for Andrew Booth Jr. So very, very nice. Loving the statistics, and we are looking like a true bona fide contender. And after the bye week, we get the Seattle Seahawks. They go 10-7, so the CPU did a pretty good job rebuilding them, I would say. Who have they got? Obviously not Russell Wilson. Who do they have at quarterback? They've got Kenneth Walker at running back. He's 90 overall, developed nicely. Who's their quarterback? Jalen Hurts. Okay. Interesting. We're not going to learn from the Lamar Jackson game. We're still going to go defend deep pass and hope that that works for us. And they have C.J. Harris, a stud defensive tackle, 94 overall. We're going to go blitz counter. They still have Jamal Adams around. And let's see if we can get past the Seahawks, avoid the upset, and get ourselves back into the conference championship. I cannot believe it. We get upset 38-35. The number 2 defense just completely folds in January. I am shocked. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I am shocked. How did this happen? Honestly, how? Let's look at the stats just to see. Oh, I'm frustrated. Jalen Hurts has a good game. Devontae Jones throws 2 picks. Cam Akers has a good game. Kenneth Walker scores twice. DK puts up 186. Pat Sharp with 97. Jeudy scores twice. Man, how? Miles Jack with 12 tackles. Did we sack Jalen Hurts? Yeah, Aaron Donald got him twice. Simmons got him once. Oh, my goodness. I don't think we got any interceptions. No, Trevon Diggs got 1. But yeah, that's it. We lost. And the Ravens go back-to-back. 37-31 over the Panthers. Lamar Jackson is your Super Bowl MVP. That is going to do it, at least as far as our rebuilding efforts are concerned. Now, I am going to do something a little fun here. I've never tried this. We're going to do the Sim 10 years option. I just want to see 10 years down the road, will this team stay together? Will the talent be enough? Do they get back next year without our interventions and our meddling with the roster? What happens for Devontae Jones? Let's find out, and we'll wrap up the video on that note.